Not comfortable.
Used to Link with short hair. I don't like it. Grow your hair back, Link.
Absolutely not.
What?
Don't just froze. For anyone
No,
else.
you first. You like went very slow.
Hey, blood, went like that. Hey guys, welcome back to the Heel Podcast. We are back for our monthly podcast. Wrestlemania this week, this month. Yeah, it's going to be mainly that, to be honest, because it's been a hell of a weekend.
It's been a tiring weekend.
Yeah, as you can see, Titch has died. She's
died.
died and come back to life.
I haven't.
Be fair, Play had a night off.
He turned up once. He turned up once.
He had 2 nights off. He didn't come on Friday.
No, I had 3 nights.
He had 3 nights off.
Yeah, 3 of the 4.
Smackdown.
He wasn't there.
Smackdown night 2.
To be fair, I did say at least I said I wasn't going to be at the Hall of Fame.
That was actually a really good one, man, but we'll get on to that.
Shall we start with Smackdown from Friday night?
Sounds like as good a place as any.
Yep.
I mean,
That was the beginning. Why not?
yeah, I mean, cheers, Titch. Appreciate that. So, we started off with the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale. That one, with words and that, yeah?
The one that's the Andre the Giant Battle Royal and not the Andrew the Giant.
Not the Andrew one.
Oh, bye, Beyblade. Told you to go play outside.
Switching that off.
I'm turning that internet off.
I gave you enough chances. It was weird to us to have the Battle Royale on SmackDown again. It seems a bit of a waste for it, in my opinion. I don't know about you guys. Like,
Definitely a pre-show match for me.
I was about to say, we had 4 hours worth of Mania pre-shows over the next 2 days, so why the heck did we need to put the Battle Royal on a SmackDown instead?
And the fact that there wasn't a single fight on either pre-show.
That was frustrating, I'm not going to lie.
Which did gut me because, like I said, I was chatting to Dan, and do you know the length of the Usos match, the New Day match?
go on.
1 minute 40 seconds.
Yeah, but that'll have been shortened because it was added to the
But
next
you've got
night.
4 hours worth of pre-show.
4 hours of pre-show.
It was a match. It was a match for nothing. Even after, like, they could have gone after night 1 and they gone, oh crap, we haven't got room for it. Let's move it to night 2. Yeah. Pre-show. It was
pre-show.
odd. But yeah,
and it would have given something for the pre-show. But yeah, it was 1 minute 40 seconds that match.
Yeah, I mean this battle royal would have been perfect for it. I mean, we had what's his face, Madcap Moss, win it. Is it going to do a lot? No.
I think it is, actually. I think it is. I think this is going to be the spark between them two finally splitting, because he won the Battle Royal all on his own. That was a key thing that we heard him say as well during the promos. So I think this could be the beginning of them two splitting, and maybe a more serious Madcap.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think.
Do you think he'll stay as Madcap or go back to Riddick?
I think the worrying thing is, he's not someone that's going to attract me and interest me at all.
He's joining back now.
Okay.
But yeah.
He's not someone that's going to interest me. I think going singles or.
I don't think it's going to do anything. It's been something that was talked about for maybe 2 weeks in previous years, and then it's just forgotten about.
Yeah, I mean, you look at all of them. It's we've only actually had, in my opinion, one sort of big thing come from the Battle Royals, like directly, and that was Matt Hardy joining with Bray Wyatt.
That was used to fuel another story.
Genuinely, the only thing directly was that, which, I mean, okay, maybe it's not so bad. It's on SmackDown, but I mean, what's the point of it?
I mean, we got Gronk as well.
I mean,
we did get Gronk, but it didn't add anything going forwards, did it? Though that's the thing. Not really.
It gave us Gronk the next year.
Yeah.
Obviously, he was part of Wrestlemania the following year, wasn't he?
He hosted both nights, didn't he?
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Welcome back, Blade.
That was really...
Blade.
Well, you see, my Wi-Fi for my PC only shut down, and I was a bit confused because it was fine on everything else.
No, it
Clever.
was your mum, mate. She told you to
I've-
get outside.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had to go eat my breakfast. No, I'm joking.
Your breakfast at 1:10
My
in the
happy meal.
afternoon.
My happy.
Doing it to himself now.
Didn't wake up till an hour ago.
You have to get out of your rust,
Link woke
did
me
you?
up.
No, I woke up a couple of hours ago. Link woke you up, nice.
It's going to have his
Link
ready
literally-
break.
I literally answered the phone. I was like,
My
I
ready
overslept.
break.
I'm coming. No.
But I mean, we'll move on from the battle royale.
Yeah.
Next up on the show was the triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship between the old I was going to say Angarza, but then they're not Angarza. They're
Andrade's in a different company, so
Humgarza.
Gaza.
Humgarza.
Hamgarza.
So I mean, I'll be honest. We've watched so much wrestling this weekend. I don't even remember this match.
So I was very surprised by this match and the fact that because obviously the two big matches that they advertised for SmackDown were the Battle Royal and this match, and they were the first two matches of SmackDown, which was really, really strange to me.
Very weird.
It was like they were really trying to kick off Mania weekend with a bang, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, this match was fine. It did what it did. We had 4 hours of pre-show. Like, this could have been on that as well. You know, get the titles.
They've really got something with the mid-card championships just not being on a pay-per-view anymore, have they?
So I read a tweet. I can't remember who it was that put it out. I think it was Sami Zayn, actually, was to put a tweet out about the titles and about why the titles were on Mania, etc. And they said, look, you know, Ricochet's only just won the title, so it kind of makes a little bit of sense there that he's going to struggle. And it's more about the stories than it is about the titles at Mania. Yeah. And to be fair, I kind of agree. You know, Mania is the end of the big seasons, the big storylines that end at Mania, you know?
Yeah.
It's not about, I want this title. Okay, we'll have a title match that happens on every other pay-per-view through the year.
Yeah, I think they've just got to utilise them a bit more on some pay-per-views.
I do agree. Like, the Intercontinental title hasn't been on a pay-per-view for 12 months. Like, that's insane.
I can't remember the US title being on a pay-per-view for like...
I
think it was Damian Priest.
So when Finn won it.
Yeah.
Was that on a pay-per-view?
I think so.
No, that was on a regular Raw.
Yeah, Raw.
That was on a regular Raw because he's only just recently won it, and that's when Priest went fully heel.
You might be right, actually,
yeah. Yeah, it's been a long time.
It's the second rate. I feel like in WWE's eyes, it's the second rate championship. You don't really care about it.
Well, it is. I think the second title, isn't it? Like,
I think there's some people in there now, and that are gonna be in and around the mid-card title picture that I think is gonna make it really interesting. There's a lot of people stepping up. You've got some people coming in, and I think it could be really exciting.
I can see where you go with that. I'm not entirely conviensed, but I'm sure we'll get to that.
I think I've got an idea of what he's saying as well.
Yeah, I think it could be exciting.
Say it.
Well, you've got people like, I think Cody's going to be. Yeah, no, I mean, I reckon people like Cody are going to be in there. Kevin Owens is going to start being in the mid-card title pictures because they're not going to be stepping up for the main title. So these are going to be. I think these are going to be used a lot more because we're not going to see the main titles defended for a bit. I think. I
will come back to this point that you're making right now later on because there is a lot of obviously stuff to talk about between
a load.
Loads.
We then followed up with a little segment for Charlotte Ronda.
Yeah,
the promo build up and stuff was probably better than the match, but we'll get to that. We then
probably not wrong.
We had Rick Boogs, Jimmy Uso, but before that, Austin Theory and Pat McAfee. Or was that during the match? Was that during the match?
I think that was during
the match.
Pat got jumped, didn't they?
Yeah. And then got chased.
That's what they did throughout the whole thing, did they? They never they did it between Sami Zayn and Ricochet as well. I know that happened at one point as well during their rivalry.
Yeah, Pat got jumped during these up on these table dance.
Yeah.
For Max music. I think that wasn't too bad. It made everyone talk about it again. Gave Vince a little spot in there.
Yeah, well, I mean, we needed this segment. It's a bit of an odd one that it was during a match and it couldn't have been done elsewhere.
I think that Theory was actually a really good heel in this whole storyline. I think he's been a really good heel. I've really enjoyed him being a heel in this. I
think he is just a really good heel, full stop, though, isn't he?
Yeah. I could never see him being a face, to be honest.
Oh, I can. Yeah, he was great in NXT as a face. So I definitely can.
But the way was originally heel, though, and I don't really think
they definitely turned face. They definitely turned face. Yeah.
Would you really say they went face? I don't think they did.
They were so popular and just funny with what they were doing. They were definitely face.
I think he's got to be one that you love to hate kind of thing. He's one that will get fans both ways.
He's a comedic heel, which is quite rare nowadays.
Well, I'll tell you what. During that match, did you notice that one guy in the crowd? Every time it panned to him, he just started sticking his fingers up Austin Theory, doing fucking.
People love to hate him.
I couldn't stop laughing when I saw that because I was just like, this guy.
Sorry, I'm just looking. I think that was pretty much it, except from the final segment of the show, which I think this was when Drew cut the ropes, wasn't it?
No, that was
at Mania.
That was at Mania. God, yeah. Jesus,
yes.
This weekend has literally rolled into one.
It has.
But
that's been the way.
If I remember rightly, it was really This was during the. This was the taste.
He cut a table in half again.
And the tasteful joke, wasn't it? Not.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what was the joke again, Link?
What do Drew McIntyre? What's the similarity between the sword and his mother? Drew McIntyre's lost them both.
That's so tacky.
Yeah, not
very distasteful. Really.
I've got to admit, after watching SmackDown, I was sitting there thinking, I kind of know what kind of Mania we're gonna get.
Do you reckon they did that joke because of Will Smith and Chris Rock?
No idea. But the fact that
probably not. You just want me to put Will Smith in the title, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, he just
I'm trying to get your views.
Keep his
name
views out of his mouth.
Yeah.
But
the SmackDown was very flat for me, and I was like, oh no.
The ending, the go home show to end
and
with anything other than the main title match or anything like that, and to end with something like Corbin versus Drew, which I believe opened Mania Night 1, didn't it?
Yeah.
No, it didn't.
No, it was Usos.
Usos opened.
But and they picked up. They made a big point all week of this was the WrestleMania go home show. This was going to be the big WrestleMania SmackDown. And I watched it and I was like, okay.
I mean, it wasn't bad. Like it started off with the big moments. Obviously, they weren't massive moments because of who they were, but with the big matches and such.
I think this
it was just a strange rivalry to end it with. I just don't think that's not the one I'd have put in that spot because it's not the main focus of the shows.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
it was weird that we didn't have. We didn't have the two big names in Drew or Brock appear. Like we was sort of expecting. It was
Roman or Brock, but yeah.
Sorry, yeah, I did that the other day as well, didn't I?
We got Madcap Moss and Happy Corbin. That for me, I was sorted. I love Madcap Moss. I do.
All right.
Well, we were just saying
we champion Madcap Moss.
Well, we were just saying we think that. I was saying anyway. I think the Battle Royal win's going to put him into a more serious role going forward.
I reckon he might step up for an IC title, or he might go for a tag team run with Happy Corbin. To be honest,
I hope you're right because I was saying I just don't.
I really like Madcap Moss. I think there's a lot of potential in Madcap Moss. I mean, you've seen he gets dropped on his head and he gets right back fucking up. What's going to put him down?
He's got a point there, to be fair.
He's got a head of solid steel.
Him and Boogs would be good against each other.
Oh my god.
Well, I mean, Boogs is. We'll get to Boogs.
Yeah, we'll get
This is
to
out
Boogs.
for a bit now,
We'll
don't
get to
we?
Boogs. We'll get to it. But I mean, we ended it with a bit of a weird note on SmackDown anyway, and then we went straight in to the Hall of Fame. And the Hall of Fame.
In the Hall of Fame.
Well, they're a 15-minute changeover while the crowd all the wrestlers came out and sat on the stage.
Yeah, Link was quite worried at this point when they was like, right, we're going to have a break before.
Andrade was there, wasn't he?
He said the Hall of Fame, what was it, the Hall of Fame pre-show, and he was like, oh, how long have we got to wait? It was 15 minutes.
15 minutes was there to clear,
That's the right result.
Clear the ring.
I bet that
change
killed
the
you,
ropes.
Link. That killed you, didn't it, mate?
I was expecting to sit there for an hour waiting for it.
Yeah,
Our
so I was like,
Oh.
no, this is not what I need. But they literally just changed the ropes and were putting the chairs. I was like, fair play, good effort. I mean, I dare say they could have probably just had gold ropes for the SmackDown before Mania, and then just took off one side. I don't know.
I was a bit worried about Hall of Fame because normally I find quite dull and long and.
It can be a bit tedious.
From what I saw of it, I think it was the quite opposite, mate.
Yeah,
I think it was one of the best Hall of Fames I've watched.
It was a good one. It actually kept my attention, kept me engaged.
So we started off on the actual main show with the Steiner brothers. Braun Breaker came out to introduce them. Didn't do a lot, just sort of did his little bit. We was wondering who it'd be. We weren't sure, and then we was Braun's the obvious one because he's about, but will he be because he's still quite new to the company? Will it be one of their ex-managers?
Why is that man still called Braun Breaker and not Rex Steiner? I do not understand it. Like, they really need to
I'm hoping now that we'll leave that for later.
Yeah, but they've full on made the connection between him, his dad, and his uncle. Like they've explained it at the Hall of Fame. They mention it on commentary constantly. Like, I don't understand why they don't just call him Rex Steiner.
The one thing I did like in his speech was even he made a point of how interesting it could be handing a mic over to his Uncle Scott.
Well, and it didn't disappoint. So we had 5 minutes, 6 minutes, something like that, of them doing their speech, and 4 or 5 minutes of those time was taken up by Scott Steiner talking about Macho Man Randy Savage and cows. It was.
I got some food.
I don't know why. I thought you'd understand my English. Was there a point when Rick Steiner just took the mic off him and just carried on himself?
I wouldn't mind, but that was before. He actually covered the mic up before because he said this could be interesting when I speak. And he covered the mic up and he just said, speak it.
He was so off his tits, wasn't he?
I'll be honest, he seemed it.
But he gave one of the best moments, one of the best Hall of Fame moments ever.
I've got food.
I got some food.
Probably one of the best voice clips for the Hill project ever.
Well,
who the hell has antisocial cows?
Antisocial cows.
How he crammed so much into 4 minutes of a speech. It was incredible.
And to this day, I swear he knew those cows.
Fucking,
you gotta love Scott Steiner. You just got. Did he do anything about the math and the? Did he do any math?
No, so there was there was very small reference to it at the start, and then there was a few references to it during the pre-show, but it wasn't. There was no Steiner
the only thing he did say was when he's part of a great tag team, legendary tag team, and if you take the best two, but two wrestlers, but that's only one team, so there has to be 2 teams, so there's 4 wrestlers.
It was a very subtle.
You know what he should have done? He should have done the math for NXT Takeover for Braun Breaker. He should have gone, Braun Breaker's chance to win in this match is normally 50%, but because he's a super athlete, you gotta take that 50% and then hit with another 50% to make it 116%.
I mean, it was great. It surprised us how much we all enjoyed it actually. Because I mean, I don't think any of us disliked the Steiners, but no, it was a particularly memorable one.
Definitely a good one to open up with.
Do you know what? I'll be completely honest. The older I've got, and the more I've seen of their old stuff, the more and more I've appreciated the Steiners and Scott Steiner especially. Like, that guy was so innovative in his wrestling. Like in back in the day, like the Hurricanranas and like the Frankensteiner. You know, the guy was so inventive, and obviously the Steiner screwdriver, which is probably my favorite move of all time,
was really ahead of his time.
He really was. Really was.
I mean, you were calling for it all weekend, literally all weekend. Every time Brom
Good.
was nearby.
Good to didn't see it.
Well, I'm putting my coat on, not for any particular reason, but when I saw this one up, I thought, I'm going to get my coat and leave, in all fairness. Queen Charm now was up next.
Didn't know who she was, if I'm honest. I didn't know who she was until I saw Booker T. Until I saw Booker, like, I made the connection when I saw Booker T. I felt so bad. I was like,
So yeah, all hail Queen Charmel. But then after that was one of our most emotional moments of the weekend with Shad, JTG, Shad's wife and Shad's kid. What a fantastic Warrior award in the end, actually, because I mean, we don't need Dana Warrior anywhere near WWE anymore. She's ridiculous. And all fairness to her, though, she didn't make it about her husband this year.
Apart from when she went to pull the trophy away.
I mean, she does seem to have a bit of kleptomaniac about it and doesn't want to let go. But Shad's misses. She smashed the speech and managed to hold it together. His boy did really well.
JTG and the son did the Crime Time thing, didn't
amazing.
they? Oh,
so good.
See, Crime Time was when I was growing up as well. So like, I loved the crime. I loved
still
Crime
growing
Time. I
up.
was broken when Shad got. Screw you, Link.
No, it was the
when,
most
like, my
classy
childhood.
thing. The most classy thing I think I've seen all weekend was JTG doing the old handshake.
But also bringing them down as well, making sure they were all right, making sure they were going to hold it together. I think he was there just to be there, just in case they
The emotional support.
They needed him.
They needed him, but he realised they would be all right and stepped away and went back, and he didn't say a single word. And I thought, JTG, fair play.
Well done,
He
you.
didn't need
well
to say
done,
anything.
you.
He didn't need to say anything. He just needed to do that iconic moment, didn't he?
Yeah.
What I did like was the speech could have just been really somber, but they made a few laughs in there as well.
Yeah, well,
Told a few stories that did make us laugh.
I mean, the story about the I've got to tell it. So the story about their store robbery that Shad
I
broke up,
remember that.
and they were saying, you know, Shad managed to wrestle this guy outside, took him down with a body slam, and held him till the police arrived. And then Shad's missus turns around and went, and Jason knew it, and Jason's obviously JTG. Jason was there as well. Apparently he did nothing and stayed in the car.
Just called him out in front of everyone.
To be fair though, I'd have done the exact same thing.
We know you would have done.
Yeah.
Link would have been the one body slamming him. I would have been like,
You'd have still been, I can't do nothing, I'm strapped in my car seat. I can't get
You
out.
didn't undo me buckle. You didn't undo me buckle.
No, that was the class on that. I really enjoyed that, and hats off to his son. He done so well.
he held it together, and it was like, I mean,
I thought he was going to drop the trophy at one point. I'm not going to lie.
It would've
I
been
thought
good.
he was. He did look like he was going to drop it at one point.
Wouldn't have been the worst thing in the world.
Nah.
But
It's his trophy. He can do what he wants with it.
it's time. It's time. What time is it?
It's Vader time!
Tom!
First thing I noticed about this was when they played his music,
Not a
how
good thing,
good
are they?
was his music. I
Great
completely forgot that would have fit in perfect these days.
Great theme.
It
Great
was-
theme. I wish his son would have got into wrestling, to be honest with you, because
He's got the look.
son of Vader as a wrestler would have been
How old is he?
fantastic.
Don't know.
Don't know, but he's got the look for it as well. He could step in there.
He's got
Don the
moves.
mask, my friend. Don
Yeah.
the mask.
Drive the girls wide. Wild.
The mask was the worst. We was actually commenting how bad that mask was.
Oh yeah, but he made it work. He
He
made it
did.
work. Like such an absolute legend was Vader. Like just
Someone that's needed to be recognised in there for a long time. For what that man could do.
yeah. It's for such a big dude. He could move. He could move a lot. Like, you know, I know I talk about how I could do a backflip, but so could Vader. And
This was one of those perfect speeches as well that kind of gave you everything. didn't go too long, because that's one thing I've always grabbed up before. The speeches went on far too long.
Yeah.
All of them were they were perfect. Every speech went just the right amount of time, gave you just as much you need.
The thing is as well, like sometimes the posthumous inductions of people, the speeches are a bit.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're sad because the people aren't there, but also the speeches. The speeches aren't given by that person, and it's just like we don't really care what you have to say. Like, as harsh as that sounds.
Yeah. I thought
we want to know what they would have said.
Yeah. But I think, like Pete said, they did it quite well this year, and the ones that did actually tell speeches, they were good. So I agree.
And then
we got the mask at the end as well, didn't we?
We did get the mask, the close up of the mask. And
the over mask.
The over mask.
Yeah. And then
I really like that.
Not his regular mask. Sorry. And then zoomed in on that, and then I can't remember. I think we went to black, and then Vince McMahon came back.
Yep.
To induct probably my favourite induction of all time. I think it's got to be there.
I think it was. I think it was even from just the way Vince introduced him.
So,
can you not get chills when you hear the gun?
Well, this is it, isn't it? This was more than this, I thought, this time, because The Undertaker has always been The Undertaker, and this was very much, he started off was The Undertaker, but then turned into Mark and said he was going to do the whole speech as Mark, and I thought it was fantastic. I loved that. I didn't want Taker doing the speech, it'd have been weird.
Yeah. This is what I like. Vince actually introduced him as Mark. Yeah, Vince actually introduced him, saying he was going to Hall of Fame, and he wants to welcome down Mark Calloway. Also known as the Undertaker. He introduced him as Mark Calloway first, which I thought was brilliant. I was like, right, this is going to be good now.
Bet that was a very weird moment for Vince after all these years to introduce him as Mark Calloway. Like 30 years, and you've never introduced him once. Or sort of spoke about him as Mark. You've always called him Taker or Undertaker, whatever.
Yeah. And I think that's when people realised, right, this is going to be
genuine.
This is going to be a proper speech now. Introduced him as Mark. He's never called him in public, I suppose, Mark.
I mean, it was way more than a proper speech. This was a full-on public speaking masterclass. You know, you've got the radial mic on. You've got the setup behind him with all his previous like outfits and costumes. This was well orchestrated, well thought out, and there was a lot of content to this speech that I don't think we're going to be able to do it justice by speaking about it now. But
I think if you haven't seen it, go and watch it. It's so good.
I think the speech itself was nearly an hour long.
Boys, to be honest, though, would you have expected anything less?
It's Undertaker, arguably the biggest person to come out of WWE. You know what I mean?
I'm going to be,
but at the same time, I wouldn't have been surprised if Taker had just gone, "Cheers, mate," and walked off.
This is it for me. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what to expect at all.
Yeah,
this is the Undertaker. We've never seen him do this stuff. So I had no idea what to expect.
He's always been very much a company man, hasn't he? He's always stayed in character, even in public.
That's the thing. He's always protected that gimmick.
Yeah.
And that was why he needed to come out straight away and say, look.
WWE as well, without asking. So I remember on the Vince McMahon podcast on the Pat McAfee show, that he didn't have to even speak to him about WCW.
No, he knew. And that was the thing. I think Taker needed to come out, or Mark needed to come out and say, look, this speech is going to be Mark Calloway straight away, because if he was a little Taker, it would have been a 30-second speech, and that would have been it. Because he would still protect that. Yeah, he would still protect that gimmick.
But then the same time with this thing, it was the perfect combination, I think. So he thanked all the people with obviously one notable exclusion.
But that's going to happen.
I mean, there's multiple exclusions. Yeah. I know he didn't mention
big one, I'd say.
Yeah.
But then there was even things like, so he put in very small stories about him and BSK and The Godfather, and then he said there were some stories that he'll take to his grave, and I mean, it was perfect for Hall of Fame. It's like, that there was a hell of a lot more, and that he wouldn't ever want to tell anyone, or does want to tell people, but knows he shouldn't.
Then he showed us that human side to him when he went and spoke about his daughter, and he was telling us stories about like asking her what would she if she didn't care what everyone thought of her. Just those little stories of Mark Calloway.
Yeah.
That human side that people want to see for so long.
Well, I was going to say,
I mean,
we seen it during the last ride, didn't we? The human
Yeah.
side, especially with his missus. So I mean, it was nice that we got to see it again. That's for sure.
Yeah,
he cracked a little bit when he was talking about his kids and so, because obviously he doesn't see all of his kids all the time. You know, it's
for the fact we got a real human side to him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, we saw a bit of it as well before the Hall of Fame, because they did the unveiling of the new statue at Access as well, just before this, or before Smackdown.
I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan.
You know what it looked just like?
Not Taker.
You know how they get the graphics, the graphic things now, like the snakes and all that. It genuinely looked like the one that gave him.
But it was.
Why
It was
Yeah.
literally the exact same model.
Yeah.
The exact same model. Yeah. But you had a little moment with Shawn Michaels and Triple H during that as well.
Yeah, yeah, that little joke's like that's
Where
quite comical.
he turned around to them and said to them, if they ever want to hand in their click card, they could become honorary members of the BSK, which I thought was pretty cool.
Well, I mean, he also managed to call Stephanie McMahon a spoiled brat as well, which I thought was spot on.
He also had to call Kane Mayor Kane.
Mr. Mayor.
Yeah,
Mr. May.
that's what I mean. There was some classic moments.
I think that's next now. I think it's Kane and Undertaker, because Kane needs his proper
Destruction.
Hall of Fame moment.
Brothers
don't
of
he?
We said that.
Yeah.
I think so.
Kane needs his moment.
That would be a
I
fantastic
hated the fact that Kane didn't get it properly. Like it's so painful to think about how bad that was for him. Like he deserved so much more.
I mean, yeah, I completely agree.
I suppose he can take some sort of solace in the fact that he wasn't the only one. I know Kane was the headliner last year, but he wasn't the only one who was denied that audience.
No,
he did.
The NWO
he did.
obviously went in as well at the same
Yeah,
time
RVD
from the year
as
before,
well.
and RVD was there.
But he did the classic Ray Kane thing, like he took one for the company because he knew someone had to do it. Something that Batista hasn't done, which I'm not particularly impressed with, but there we are. Kane took one for the company and knew that someone had to fill that gap because they still had to do
a
it.
big name, and he was that name.
And so he did it.
Basically.
Sucks.
Corporate through and through.
Corporate through and through, exactly. But yeah, Taker also made mention of the Taker Rooney, by the way. He didn't have to do one. He had the Taker Rooney.
Yeah.
I thought that was fantastic. Probably made me laugh.
Yeah, no, Dan's right. If anyone hasn't seen it, literally, even if you're not a massive wrestling fan, most people know The Undertaker. It's definitely one to watch.
Oh yeah, superb. But then obviously we had the bit that frustrated us. So he put on his jacket, put on his hat,
Went back to
went
Taker,
to leave.
Wait. I love you.
Oh yeah, I love you.
More.
He's like, I love you too.
I love you too. And then someone else, I don't know if it was the same
Love you
person.
more!
I love you more. That was great. But
That interaction, this is what I like about having it in that setup, like the old setup with the fans around the ring, because you actually get some interactive bits.
But yeah, even
I
with
really like that.
even with Vince earlier on in the night, even earlier on in the speech, he was they were trying to start the what chants, and he was like, "Don't make me bring Taker out to whoop your ass," or something of that line.
But even got the crowd to sing along to his music and that as well. He was doing the old orchestra sing along set,
It was good.
it was great. I love the crowd.
But yeah,
Right, sorry.
never say never is a line that has kind of annoyed me. If I'm being completely honest, like.
I love it.
No,
It
I
should
hate
have been
it.
it.
I hate it with a passion.
I love Undertaker with a passion, right? Like that guy, you know, he's why I got into wrestling. He's my favourite wrestler. Like my favourite guy of all time. He's not going to get better than that match he had with AJ Styles in the cinematic match. He's not like, just stop now, Undertaker.
Don't
mate.
risk
Just
it.
Say never, please,
Yeah.
for the love of God. Like,
I mean, that was my exact reaction when he said never say never. It was like, please say never! Please! Just say never!
you left on an incredibly better high than you would have if you had like left on the John Cena match or like the Roman Reigns match. Like
Don't
you've got
mention
like
it.
an incredibly
see where
great
that was
match.
going.
If I can be honest with you, though, I think now we've seen Mark, and now he's he's let us into that side of things. We will never see Taker again.
I hope
He
not,
kept him
but-
he kept it so protected, and now he's opened that door. I think that's it. You won't go
But-
back.
The one doubt I always
I think
have
if-
now is that Shawn Michaels always said that he'd never, and it looked like he was going to never, and then Saudi came calling and threw enough money
Vince
at him
made-
that he went, all right.
Vince made that phone call, and
Let's
Taker's
not-
always said Vince makes that phone call.
Let's not
He
just
will.
mention Saudi either. You know, Austin also said that.
Yeah,
It's
and-
what-
yeah.
That's one of those things. Vince makes that phone call. Taker will always come running. He's always said that.
Link's disappeared.
We'll move on to Mania whilst Link's back. Whilst Link discovers his body
He
again.
pops out for a little bit.
Oh, but
This
good
is
God
one way
almighty,
to get thin.
He's broken in half. Good God, he's gotta be dead.
I finally lost some weight.
There you go. There's the title of the
Tick-
Now you
Tick-
can
tick-
stop being mean in the TikTok comments.
Yeah, TikTok will be happy about that.
Oh, he's back.
So
It was all a lie.
I was going to say, we've started the show with the Usos, but we didn't. We started with 2 hours of nothing for WrestleMania. It was a weird pre-show. We saw not a
I
lot.
don't think anyone actually paid any
Oh,
attention.
Beyblade's got to go play outside.
See, baby,
Mum's calling him for his bath.
The
That
thing
was-
is, look,
that was random.
if we're not, if we're gonna have nothing on a pre-show, just give us an hour.
Yeah,
We
don't
can go
make it
through
2 hours
everything.
long.
Yeah,
We can go through everything in an hour. I don't mind 2 hours if there's a couple of matches on there. Give us an hour.
Yeah, do you know what? Make it. Because what they used to do is they used to make it a 2 hour pre-show, but it was a 1 hour actual pre-show, and then they'd do an hour of like a build-up via like Facebook Lives and stuff like that, where it
Do
was
like
just,
promos and interviews and the match.
yeah, and then talk to like the crowds outside. things
Because
like that
I'll be
while they
honest,
were
what
getting
really
the
pissed me
hype.
off, we got a 2 hour pre-show, and R-Truth didn't appear once.
That's a good point. Actually, we didn't see R-Truth at all this weekend.
No,
But it was
I'm
also-
really gutted.
the 2 hour pre-show, and all I remember on night one was Jake Paul.
Yes,
Genuinely, the only thing
that's
I
the
can remember
worrying bit.
from the pre-show was Jake Paul.
Because that's the only time we stopped
outside
talking.
running his mouth.
It's the only time we stopped talking and got everyone involved.
We've jumped ahead a little anyway, talking about pre-shows, because we had a 1 hour pre-show for the previous show that we still haven't spoken about.
We did NXT.
Oh God, yeah,
Stand and Deliver.
Bloody hell, yeah. I mean,
Well done, Link.
we'll jump back then. I completely forgot about Stand and Deliver.
Which was actually a really good show.
I told you the whole weekend just rolled into one.
It's
in the
become a
end.
blur.
It rolled into one.
There was a lot of wrestling in a very short space of time.
I can't remember much I really can complain about apart from the pre-shows. So,
Oh, the pre-shows was by far the worst thing all weekend.
Yeah.
Because nothing happened. It was the biggest waste of time that we ever have done. And that includes
Oh, why they even do
waiting
that?
around for Titch and Beyblade to appear for podcasts. Pre-show though.
That lasts almost as long though.
Yeah. Pre-show. Raquel Gonzalez,
Okay,
Dakota
just
Kai.
finish.
They defeated Toxic Attraction. It was nice. We had an actual match on a pre-show though.
And I called it.
Yay.
And you called it. So did I think.
I think I called it as well.
Got like
Is that Scott Steiner?
Whose dog was that?
It's Rick.
my mutt.
Your man.
I've never heard your dog bark. Really.
Got like that.
For the size he is, he's a quiet thing.
That wasn't him barking. Like you'll know when he actually barks. He rattles the house. That's just him trying to talk to me.
I mean, yeah, okay match.
Yep.
Not gonna be remember it in a few months' time, but it was all right. It was
The
all right.
thing is,
it was a pre-show.
the thing I liked about it, there's a storyline in there, and that carried on that storyline with the involvement with Toxic Attraction losing, and it's progressed the story. Which, look, it's a pre-show match, and it's still progressed the story. You've had a title change. It's done a lot for a pre-show match.
Well, that is it, isn't it? It's moved the titles over.
Yeah.
Right. Works. Fatal 5-way ladder match for the North American Championship though was up first. And
Great match. I enjoyed this.
we ended up going to the moon.
To the moon.
With Cameron Grimes as the new NXT North American champion.
Which none of us called.
No, which was really good spots to me. It was a spot.
No,
it was a spot fest, and it was great.
No, it was a particularly good spot fest actually. Like I'm not a big fan of spot fest after spot fest after spot fest like all the time or in a match, but I mean the ladder matches, it worked. There was some really good ones. Titch is clearly just zoned out on this one. Do you remember this one, Titch?
Which one?
Stand and Deliver. The ladder match.
The ladder match at Stand and Deliver. It was a long weekend for Titch.
It was a long weekend.
And I was looking. That
I think I broke link.
That was a 21 length match.
21-minute match. I mean, it's a ladder match. They don't go short. They never go short. But I mean, I was surprised, and we ended up with a lot of people on the outside. I said during that match that it felt very New Japan-y, didn't it?
Yeah.
The fact that there was just so many people.
A lot of young boys.
A lot of young boys, but these were not young boys. These were, as someone said, escorts yesterday. I was like, whoa, what they do in their personal life is up to them.
Valets.
Yeah, and managers, and we saw what's his face's mate. Veer Mahan's mate, Sanga.
It's weird that they split them two up.
And he actually looked quite good in that. He actually got quite involved and looked quite good.
They were both pretty good from what I remember.
Well, yeah. To be fair, every single one in this match I actually was really impressed with, and I actually really liked. So I'm looking forward to when Solo Sikoa comes up and joins his brothers.
He looks really good.
That is going to be great for the Bloodline storylines, I think. I'm assuming he will.
Oh, babies.
Yeah, I'm assuming he will. Like, you'd imagine he is.
I think he will. And the thing was, what I liked, he goes old school. He goes old school kind of Uso vibes. Like even Rikishi vibes. I was getting a lot of them.
So,
well,
I mean,
he's a combination.
Rikishi's son.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. He's gone for it. Instead, he's gone a lot more. He's gone a lot more like his dad's gimmick than the Usos, which I'm really like.
The Usos have kind of gone for like the modern day.
Well, they've made their own thing now.
Cool guys, and Sicko seems to be going more for the tribal side of it. And
I really like
but
it.
I was going to say, let's not forget where the Usos started. They did a very similar thing themselves when they started, to be fair. So
it did with the multicoloured face paints,
which
stuff.
Was reference to
They used to do
Umaga,
old,
no? I believe most of their.
I believe you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, they used to do the old almost hacker, didn't they?
Yeah,
that kind of.
They did do the hacker. Yeah.
Yeah. I
They
enjoyed
also
it.
had who managed them when they first came in?
What, the Usos?
Tamina at one point.
It was Tamina, wasn't it, when they first
Tamina
came
at one
in?
point. Yeah.
Can't get Mina.
Than Tamina. And speaking of not getting Mina, you cannot get Mina than a mobster. Although this was a mobster's son. AJ Galante joins Tony D'Angelo. I was so like, what the hell? So none of the other guys in the podcast here have seen the Trashers documentary on Netflix, which is so good. And our mate Boosh was sat in Twitch chat talking to us with about it. But the fact that Tony D'Angelo is playing a sort of gangster gimmick at the minute, and AJ Galante, who ran I think they were looking to become an NHL hockey team that just fought everybody. It was very odd seeing AJ.
This gave
there.
you a little kind of pop, to be honest, when you see him. You had to double take.
I was like, that is AJ Galante. What is going on? But yeah, so his dad's. They say his dad's life is The Sopranos is based on his dad's life. But I mean, he was facing Tommaso Ciampa, D'Angelo. Yeah. That was the weirdest match, like bizarre.
And it was
if he won the match, he was like the new mob boss of NXT or something like that. I think that was
because they did say before that.
Everyone
was saying before this was the last one.
We all knew it was going to be his last match on NXT, and now he's fully on main roster. Like,
we
haven't seen him yet.
We say he's fully on main roster. He also said a couple of years ago that he'd never go to Raw and he'd rather leave the company.
Yeah,
so
he never fully step
maybe
up.
he's on Smackdown then.
No, he
Or
didn't want to
maybe
put his
he's
step up.
gone.
Maybe he's had. The thing is, he isn't the youngest person, and there's going to be a time when he goes, "Well, look, do I go out on a high like this, or do I go as a mid carder on a possible mid carder?"
That is it. It's
During his entrance
there's
as
some
well, he did
real
the Triple
emotion.
H tribute.
And the Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, right,
Yeah, he
beginning.
did that as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Triple H came out at the end.
I wouldn't be
and-
upset
They had a
with,
hug moment.
with what's happened. I wouldn't be upset if they did go. That's it for me.
Yeah, the amount of emotion on his face and stuff, that could have quite easily been a retirement.
Yeah, I think that was him saying, "I'm done."
I mean, he was definitely done with NXT, but that
Yeah.
could have been...
it'd be a shame though, because you saw how. So, like we were saying, he was working like early days Cesaro, and
He was
it'd
going.
be
to
such a
he's
shame.
fantastic. Fantastic wrestler.
It'd be a waste if he was done. Like I'd rather I want him to see him somewhere. I don't care where that is in wrestling, but I want him to see him somewhere. But done is you're done. No, is not for me.
I would
But
love
that's-
to see him come back as like a GM.
I mean, it's his call at the end of the day, isn't it? You know, maybe he doesn't want to come back. Maybe
I'd love to see him
Maybe
as
that's
an
enough
NXT
for him.
GM.
A GM introducing the new Big Goldie.
I'd like something to happen with that.
I just hate that you called it Big Goldie.
Yeah.
Well, it's the Big Gold, isn't
Yeah.
it? It's Goldie.
Yeah, I know, but
I'd love to see him take over on NXT and go, right, I ain't putting up with all this. Like, it goes into a bit of disarray or something, and they call a man out to straighten everyone out, and champions.
yeah, if he was going to be a GM, it would make more sense for him to be GM on an NXT than anywhere
Yeah,
else.
of course,
Like, it
yeah.
would make no sense at
The
all.
real,
to
the
put him
real
as GM on
question
Raw
is
or
though, if he
SmackDown.
was GM, how's he gonna say War Games? That's the real question.
Probably with his mouth.
Because he has got a
Do you know what I
Triple
mean?
H look about him.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Yeah.
Because this was a really good match. Ciampa was really going for it. He looked like he'd gone back a few years, and he was going full steam ahead.
Yeah, like this was his swan song, wasn't it? You know, this was he wanted to put on the best show he possibly could.
I weren't expecting the finish we got.
Swan
Honestly.
song.
Which part of that do you mean, Pete?
The Ciampa losing.
Oh right, yeah.
I 100% expected that.
It's a way to put over someone who's young and coming up on the roster.
It's,
You know what
it's
I
the
mean?
old school mentality of
Yeah.
going
Well,
out on your
yeah.
back.
I mean, he's just beaten a former, NXT two-time champion.
Mm-hmm.
I
Like,
would have
that
been.
puts him in. That could possibly put him in the title picture now. To be honest.
I would have been really gutted, but I forgot the end of the match very, very quickly as soon as Ciampa went to walk away.
Yeah, I think I can't remember what the match finish was.
I think most of us forgot the end of the match.
But it was
straight
the
away,
fact
to be
that
honest with you,
Ciampa
because
was
that
walking-
wasn't the point of the match.
Ciampa walks out and then the music's played and he just carried on walking, didn't he?
He tried to get
I
out
thought
of
he
that.
just
He tried to get out.
No, got it.
He
Just
tried to
no
get out
sell it.
really quickly because you knew the minute he turned around, he was welling up, and Triple H knew, and his arms around him because Triple H come out and he tried to make a beeline and get out of that camera shot, try and get behind the curtain straight away.
See, I get why that happened, and the emotional side of it and everything worked really well. I'm just going to point this out right now. If Vince saw that, he's ruined Tommaso Ciampa's career because he made Ciampa look so small, like so small, and Vince isn't a small person guy, as you know.
Yeah,
So that
But
will
I-
not have worked well in his favour.
No, but I think it did need to happen. Just as a bit of a thank you to Ciampa for what he's done.
But that was a double whammy, wasn't it? At the end of the
Yeah.
day, for that, in the end, it was like that was Tripp saying bye to NXT as well. It was,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
it was
Bye
a
to
double
NXT and
whammy.
thank you to Ciampa.
It was a complete end of the era. It was the end of another era.
It was.
Like,
It was the
you know,
closing of the
that's
final door, wasn't it? For
Yeah.
the yellow,
Black and
the
gold brand
black
gone.
and gold. Sorry, I was supposed to say. Yeah, I mean, weird that it was so early. Like second on as well. Isn't that supposed to be like considered a sign of disrespect sometimes? It's just a bit odd, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
I looked at it. Yeah.
The thing was, I think there was a lot of packed matches on this. These were really good matches again, and I think they knew they were going to be good matches. Not all of them were title matches. But even the ones that weren't, the one the match wasn't a title match was a really good heavy hit match.
Yeah,
So I think second wasn't bad.
yeah. I mean, the next one was the triple threat tag team match for the men's NXT Tag Team Championship. MSK
spot
defeating
match.
Imperium.
I called that. I called MSK winning the match.
I did.
You did.
Yeah. But they
There was some great spots in this match, but if I'm deadly honest,
Can I be honest? I cannot stand the Creed brothers. What is the point of them?
Creed Brothers, in my opinion, should have won this.
Yeah.
What?
They're on the rise, man. They're on the rise.
I really
The whole
like
Diamond Mine
Hyperloop.
faction is properly starting to take off. Like that, I can't remember her name. It's gonna really annoy me, and I apologise to everybody
Ivy
watching.
Nile?
That's the one, Ivy Nile, the woman in the Diamond Mine. She is absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I watched her match on NXT last week, and I think it was last week. But she's really, really good. Like, I wasn't expecting it. So, like, she's quite small, but she can go. She can go. I've never been a Roderick Strong
like
fan.
The MMA guys, aren't they, or something like that?
Yes and
Speaking
no.
of Roderick Strong, quickly off WWE for a second. Marina Shafir debuted on AEW.
Oh, okay.
I think it was on Dark or Rampage, one of the two.
I really like this match because where I don't watch NXT as much, you can watch this match and you can go watch some of these people and go, Jesus, these are good. These are really good. And you can kind of see what you're going to be getting coming up in the next year, year or two. And I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think they've done the right thing, like taking NXT back to what it was initially designed for.
It's
developmental.
A lot of youth, and like they
It's
all
developmental.
Really
It's
great.
It's developmental. It's replaced OVW and whatnot, but it's WWE's developmental.
I think you're going to get people from the main roster going down to bring others up.
Wait, you already have, haven't you? You've had Matt Riddle go back down. You've had
bring
AJ
people
go
up.
back down.
Mandy Rose
You've
has gone down.
obviously you've had
Dolph has gone down.
I think it's
I
one
mean,
of those.
Mandy Rose has gone down full time though. She's NXT Women's
But
Champion.
I think it's one of those that they've given her that to see how she works with it, and she's really succeeded. Because otherwise, I don't think she would have
I'm
been around.
enjoying the toxic attraction.
Yeah.
I bet you are.
But I think you're going to get people going down to bring people from NXT up with a storyline. What's happened with Dolph and Braun and things like that. They're giving them storylines to come up to the main roster and not getting lost in the transition. I like it, to be honest.
Yeah, I look. I don't think NXT is a development brand anymore. I
think
know
it's
what
its
you're
own
saying.
brand.
It's its own brand. Look, they've got the Performance Center separate to NXT for a reason. It's because the Performance Center is their training facility. They don't use NXT to train like they used to. NXT, yes, they'll still get a couple of people that are still very green, and they'll come in there to just sharpen up their camera work and things like that.
Yeah.
But their promo work, their in-ring ability, all that sort of thing's already been done in the Performance Center before they come to that point.
I do see NXT as more of a feeder one though. Get them in
It's
there.
definitely a feeder.
Yeah, it's definitely a feeder for the main roster. It's
And for AEW apparently.
Yeah, but I really like that. That's where you prove yourself there, then you get to step up. You prove yourself in a company, you get your chance in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
You prove yourself in NXT, you get to the main roster. I like it.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. But back to Creed Brothers, I actually quite liked their in-ring work. I think they've been pretty good. They're a consistent tag team. They just are.
Just for me, I don't know what it is. It just didn't click with me. I just didn't enjoy them.
Yeah,
that's fair.
See, I still love Imperium with.
I think we need to see something.
And Gunther now, I guess. I love that.
They are one of the greatest tag teams on NXT. Imperium.
Do you know what?
I'd rather see them with the title belt.
And Marcel Barthel, absolutely incredible.
Yeah, Bob's a big fan.
I like MSK as well, but I would have kept it on an Imperium personally.
We'll get onto it in a bit, but I know it looks like there's factions might be forming on the main roster. I really want to see Imperium come up as a faction and really step up and get on the main roster.
Yeah, I mean,
factions
the only
could
thing
be
that
a
ever
thing.
held Imperium back from being on the main roster was the fact that Gunther Walter at the time didn't want to move to America. He's now dating someone in America, so he's moved over to America.
Yeah,
So he's more likely to, be part of the main roster soon. I must say as well, something that we'll get to Gunther in a minute. Actually, But yeah, this match, I enjoyed it. The triple threat tag match was okay. It wasn't the best. It was a spot match, and I'm not a fan of MSK at all. I'm sorry. They were a 3-man team in Impact where they were good, and then they left Trey behind and became a 2-man team, and it's just like, yeah.
To be fair though, for a while, Trey did really well on his own in Impact. Like he had a couple of title runs. Like he had
I know. Like but Trey was the X factor to that team.
Yeah,
Trey was the best of the 3. And they left him behind and just took the 2 that weren't so good, and it's
MSK is still good. Don't get them wrong. They are still really good. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I do.
Okay, so just to clarify, they're good between the ropes. They have no.
They need a mouthpiece.
They've got it's not just even just a mouthpiece. They've got no. What's the word I'm looking for?
You're looking for the charisma.
They've got no connection with the crowd as well. Like they aren't. They don't know how to build the. They don't know how to build the story. They don't know how to tell the story in the ring. Instead they just try and do the spots, and it's another Young Bucks, and I don't enjoy that. I'm sorry, that's not what wrestling's about.
Shall we just jump ahead a little bit though to Mandy Rose Fatal 4-Way match with the NXT Women's Championship? Mandy Rose is retained. Nice to see somebody as young as Cora Jade in that match, by the way. She's only 21.
Yeah,
very green, but
the
she has some
from
spots.
the War Games match.
She's a skater.
Yeah. She's the one that had the all arm thing in the War Games match, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just took me a while to figure out who she was. To be
I
honest,
said straight away,
not the other guy.
Yeah. I said straight away
John.
that she's definitely a future champion. It was too early for her. She sometimes at some points looked very green still, but she's definitely a future women's champion now.
I mean, everyone in that match, apart from Io Shirai, I think she's not going to get another women's title run now. I don't know why she's still on NXT, to be honest.
I don't think anybody knows why she's still on NXT, to be honest with you.
It's a weird one.
It's very strange.
Kaylee Ray, future NXT World Women's Champion. Like,
Yeah.
It's Kaylee Ray. Like, she's going to get a title run at one point. She was the longest reigning NXT Women's United
UK champion,
I want to say.
Yeah.
I actually think Kaylee Ray had a good chance of taking this.
She was my
Kaylee Ray
pick to
win
win. I was convinced she was going to win. I was convinced, but no, Mandy got the dub.
Oh, I knew Mandy was training. I
Mandy's,
got this one right too, by the way.
Shut up.
Yeah, I did.
Mandy's doing bits down there. She's doing well and
Doing really well.
refining her feet.
Mandy's completely reinvented herself and is doing fantastic.
And I think she's proved to everyone that she's worth keeping around now.
Yeah.
Because there would have been a time where her name would have been questioned, maybe.
Yeah, they've
But
definitely been
she's
thrown
gone-
around when the
yeah.
releases were coming out. Like, why
She's
is
gone
she not
down
on that
and-
list?
She's gone down and proved herself, and she's running a women's stable that I can see coming up soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree.
So we covered that. Gunther, LA Knight was up next. Gunther
I'm
looks
looking forward to this.
trim as
Did
hell.
you just say LA Knight? You mean LA Knight?
No, I meant what
So
I
let me
said.
talk to you.
Let me talk
I meant
to
what I said.
you, dummy. Yeah.
The first thing we noticed is how good is Gunther looking.
I
Look.
was about to say in the previous when we were talking about the rest of Imperium. I think Dan was about to mention it then before as well.
Mm-hmm.
Gunther's
Trim.
change of his appearance and he's
He is now
in
mighty
a lot of shape.
slimline.
I can't say I'm a massive fan, but because I quite like the way he
I
looked. before.
quite like
The
The
beard.
dad bod was working for him.
I preferred his old look, but if he's healthier, then
Yeah,
fair
fair
play
play.
to the guy.
Well, if it
You know,
means
well
he's going to
done.
be a bit firmer, a bit quicker, then
Yeah.
it is what it is. You know, I'll take it. If it means it's going to sharpen him up a little bit, then we'll take it. LA Knight's great as well, so I really enjoyed this match. Second from last.
He's future world champion in WWE.
Oh,
LA Knight. Let's be
World
honest.
champion.
Stop.
He's not. He's not.
we
You
thought of
didn't hear
this.
this.
We
He's
thought
just
this.
not. He's just not.
He
No,
is.
No,
I agreed with you completely when we watched it, and I personally said I think he's going to be a future world champion.
Let him guess.
And then after,
Hold on.
yeah,
Then
do
we
you want
checked
to
his
try and
age.
figure out why I think he's not going to be a world champion?
Why is that?
I mean, Pete's just
Yeah.
gave it away a little bit by saying
No,
I don't listen.
How
to
old do you think LA Knight is?
Oh, he's Oh shit! Yeah, he's in his 30s, isn't he?
He's
Something like
nearly
that.
in his 40s already.
Yeah,
he's
he's
39.
Yes.
He,
Right.
he is not going to be a
He's
WWE
not got
World
time to go
Champion.
to the world champ.
The thing is,
So he's probably going to have an NXT run, and that's
He'll be
it then,
NXT
isn't
champion, I
Yeah.
have no doubt.
Yeah.
But he won't be world champion.
we say Gunther
If he
looks.
gets
look,
to main roster, he might get a US or IC, but then, like, you know.
Maybe.
Yeah, you're not going to
don't
push him
know.
all the way to the main event. It's just not
we,
going to happen.
we
no.
do say Gunther looks a bit
Which
smallish.
is sad. It really is because he's fantastic.
He just looks like he's got all that potential, doesn't he?
Yeah.
The thing is, we said Gunther looked quite smallish, but I don't think it's because LA Knight's so big,
He's
you
a big
don't
dude too,
realise how big he is. Because Gunther
think
didn't
it-
lose height,
yeah.
but even in height wise, it was like they weren't far off each other.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, he's a big dude.
yeah, he's a big guy, and I really enjoyed this match.
But no,
And
like I say, it's
So
a
he's got the, I mean Gunther. Sorry.
Gunther.
It's mad to think this was the second shortest match of the whole show. Because I really
Well,
enjoyed
it's the
it.
shortest of the main show, so
I
shorts in the main
I
show.
enjoyed this match. Completely enjoyed this match. I just
I love both.
finding out how old LA Knight was afterwards made me a
Left
little
a
bit
sour taste.
honest.
Yeah.
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 and then we had our first of first of two of these matches for the weekend: Dolph Ziggler versus Braun Breaker.
We
This
did.
was very good.
Yeah.
Very good match.
Intense.
This
was
was
intense.
this was, I think, in my opinion, this was better than last night's match.
100%.
No, it wasn't just intense. This match was so intense that it was in a 3-ring circus big top. Like it was that much intense.
That's appalling.
Jesus.
That's terrible.
I think what I liked about this match, they told a story, and everyone involved told a story, including Robert Roode. That was actually built, and it worked, and it was all playing, and it was done really, really well.
Look,
It's a shame. I'm sad that Robert Roode's just Dolph Ziggler's manager now. Like, I loved Robert
said
Roode,
that.
Bobby Roode on NXT. His NXT one was incredible. He came up to the main roster and then he just.
I
went
said
down,
that,
you know,
but I also said I'm quite glad he isn't away, because if he wasn't, he wouldn't be there. I don't think anymore.
just gonna
anywhere.
just gonna point this out as well. Like, and I know I am gonna skip ahead. It was the first of two matches, and I think it was the better of the two matches.
Mhm.
I don't understand why there was two matches and why the person that won. Well, obviously the first person.
Well, yeah.
Dolph retained in
Dolph
this one.
retained on this one.
I don't understand why. I just.
So
But there was a theory, wasn't there? We were all saying Dolph was going to retain, and then Braun was going to make the step up.
well,
to
that
the
was
main
it.
roster.
Was the logical
If
sense.
he won it, there was no.
But
There's no
that's the
logical
logic
reason
to
for
it.
him to win. There's no reason. There's no logical reason for Braun to win the NXT title if he's making the step up.
The thing
Right.
is,
But that's the logic to it. But then, obviously,
Can I
we'll
just
get to
point-
it.
can I just
We'll get to
quickly
it.
point? Can I just quickly point out? Kevin Owens was
He done
NXT
it.
champion, came up to main roster and had a feud with John Cena. That's all I'm gonna say. Like,
he could have done that.
NXT world champions
Yeah.
can come up to the main roster while still champion.
They can,
I don't
yeah.
want to hear this. I
Yeah.
don't like it when people are like, "Oh, he's got this belt. He's not gonna go over here."
I kind of like the way it was done as well, because it gave him a win on Raw in front of a Raw crowd. I quite like the way it was done, to be honest.
Spoiler, Pete.
Yeah, I was trying not to mention.
We're not
that.
even at Mania yet.
Well, I think
Pete.
we've
not
kind
even
of
at Mania yet.
we've
mate.
kind of
Jesus
We
Christ.
touched on it, but
Yeah.
yeah,
But, I
anyway,
mean,
yeah, that's why.
My
it doesn't
only
make sense
thinking
to
is
me.
obviously how the end of that match happened. So obviously Rude got thrown out quite early
Then
on
came
in that
back.
match. Came back, the ref didn't see it, and Ziggler
We said
already
he'll be
exposed the
back.
turnbuckle. So yeah, knocks him into that, and then hit a zigzag to win the match.
I think that's the way it was done as well, because it was going to make out that he's been robbed of his title.
But there was no reference
Because
of it on Raw, which was the weird thing.
That's what
So
there should have been. There should have been a reference to it.
Yeah, I
It
think
was
Raw
off.
was quite rushed because of the fact. We'll get to Raw. We'll get
It
to Raw.
will,
Let's
it
carry
was
on.
bizarre. But
Sorry.
I mean, this match on the show itself was great, and it was really intense, and it was a really good way to finish Stand and Deliver. And my favourite NXT pay-per-view for a fair while now, to be fair, in all fairness, you know. Like none of those, like every match was like, this is really good, this is really good, this is really good. So I thought it was pretty decent.
Do you think it was a show worthy of going to the moon?
To the moon! Did you know he was trained by the Hardy Boys, by the way?
Money.
I did not know that.
I did because I knew I watched Trevor Lee on Impact, and I think they spoke about it before because I think that was a rivalry at one. And plus WWE 2K20.
I was about to say, I know because it's in the game.
Oh, I haven't got to that far then. Okay, fair enough.
The thing was,
sorry, spoiler, Dan.
Sorry.
There was that pay-per-view. There was no bad match again.
Yeah, no, exactly. So I mean, we'll jump back to where we were then. A 2-hour pre-show with nothing. Yeah.
Is it even worth mentioning?
We did our predictions and stuff during the pre-show, at least.
We did.
I know, but what you can't give us, right? I'm sorry, I've just got to say it. You can't give a 2-hour pre-show and not give us a single match.
It's crazy.
I was ready to fall asleep. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, but I'm seeing all these promo packages that I'm gonna see in about 5 minutes, like when the show starts anyway.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna see exactly everything you've just done in about 2 hours.
Yeah, and I think we'll talk about promo packages throughout this segment as well, because they kept showing promo sections of night 2 on night 1, and then showing us recaps of what happened on night 1 and night 2. Like, we don't need to see it. It's not relevant.
It's like Kevin Owens on Raw. Remember when they were showing a replay of literally what just happened, and Kevin just started going, "They've just shown this. What's going on?"
Yeah, like it's stupid. It really is daft.
You know what I did like though? I did like there was one reason I didn't like any. I did like there was no pre-show match.
Why?
Because that made the Usos get onto the main card, which was quite cool.
There is that.
That's their first Mania, isn't it?
But
there's a very good tie-in to go into the first match. But before we do that, we also had predictions, and for the NXT, I won. Just wanted to say that really.
Just wanted to rub it in, didn't we?
But I want to point out that this podcast, because of the length of it, will probably be out on Wednesday, and I'm fairly sure the forfeits will have been yesterday.
Yes.
So that'll be today for us.
So this could be
yesterday for you guys. So we started off. It was very weird. We had a 2-hour pre-show. We then had an awful rendition of the American National Anthem.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy that at all.
And then we had the Usos, great. But then we had we had Shin and Rick Boogs with Pat McAfee on the desk, great.
Yeah.
And then Rick Boogs got injured.
And then the match got cut short.
That was the Usos' first match on the main show for WrestleMania as well.
Yeah.
Like ever.
I felt bad for Rick Boogs, man, because I think everyone here loves Rick Boogs.
Everyone in our match was screwed.
And he was doing he looked like he was going to do a really good spot picking up both Usos as well.
Yeah.
And he was happy.
You know what? At first, I thought it was scripted.
I did.
We all did. I think we all sat there and were like, "Yeah, this has got to be scripted." Like,
and then
you know what I mean? I never saw like anything happen properly. I just saw him go down.
I thought he just struggled to lift him, to be honest with you, and it was a botch. But I didn't think it was like as bad as it was.
And then obviously we saw the pictures of him being carried out. Like he couldn't even walk out.
No. I thought it was a story because he's been playing on that knee injury in story for the last few weeks.
Yes.
It's almost
the whole thing when he wrapped it off.
Yeah, they've been playing on that knee injury.
Very much a foreshadowing.
Yeah, but apparently the X was shown up, and we just didn't see it on the telly. But apparently it was.
They hit that quite well.
That there was an X thrown up, so yeah, it's
felt bad for Shinsuke, but I think the only reason Shinsuke's still around is because of Rick Boogs.
This is the thing I'm concerned about now. Is what on earth are they going to do with that?
They're not going to do nothing with.
I
Shin
genuinely,
for now,
I think he's. I think Nakamura's lit. Yeah, like I think he's just going to be off TV. Like, what can he do? Like, he's not got any runs left in him really, apart from a tag team run. Like, he's either probably going to be one of the next releases, or they're just going to wait for Rick Boogs to come back and then put.
I mean, to be fair,
a while, I think.
If Ziggler's no longer down on the NXT, maybe throw Shin back down there because Shin was great in NXT.
He could have a rivalry on NXT. Put some talent over. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like Carmelo
that'd be a good shout. Good shout.
Yeah. No, for sure.
LA Knight Shin would be amazing.
While we talk about Rick Boogs, obviously want to send him my best and just say that he's been confirmed now to have a torn quadricep.
Well, torn
nice.
and a torn patella in his knee is also what I've seen.
And
as
the
well.
patella.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not a nice injury.
Yeah, no, horrendous. That as I said, I can't see him being back before Christmas, to be honest.
They will not rush him at all.
He's going to be gone for a while.
6 to 8 months.
It's a shame. It's a
I'm
shame.
gonna say
Rick
now.
Boogs is incredible.
I'm going to say now, how's this for a prediction? Rick Boogs,
Rumble.
number 1 in the Rumble.
Correct guitar.
Yeah, number 1 in the Rumble. Number 1.
And Elias number 2. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Carry on.
Yeah.
Boogs wins the Rumble.
But yeah, then
saying
we
it
have.
now.
I mean, that is bold. Drew
I
McIntyre
always go bold.
and Happy God.
I went
Jesus.
bold.
Oh, I hated the ending of this. Like when the match was over. Please, can we move on?
No, we've got to cover it.
Because we
Right,
briefly
the
covered it whilst you were out of the room
itself
earlier.
wasn't that bad. Right, the match itself wasn't that bad. Like I actually quite enjoyed it. Obviously, you had Drew kicking out at the end of days. First person to do that, by the way.
Terrible. Terrible.
That was a
Shouldn't have
bad
happened.
thing. They should have made it. They should have
Baron's
used it
lost
at all.
his protection now.
Corbin
He's lost
should
his
have-
winning streak as Corbin, as Happy Corbin, and he's lost his undefeated end of
End of
day.
days.
The end of the day should have happened in a title match.
Yeah.
Not in
A big title match as well.
generic
Like this match really didn't have any meaning apart from the fact that Happy Corbin said that Drew lost his mother and his sword.
The
Yeah.
thing was, they should
That's
have
all
done
that
it.
was.
Drew countered the end of days first of all, and they should have done it counter every time.
Yeah.
Not
It
kick
should have
out.
just been counters, not a kick out. But
Yeah.
you know how they do Drew McIntyre. Oh, we're 5-1, kick out of 1. Like, you know what I mean? Like Drew McIntyre's just like
I
if
like
there was
Drew,
going to
though.
be anyone to do it, it was going to
I
be
like Drew.
Roman Brock.
I don't think any of us don't like Drew. It's just that.
I
shouldn't
don't
have
like
happened.
the sword. Don't
The
No,
like
I
sword's
hate the sword.
awful, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Like I liked it when he was just like pulling it down into the thing.
I
Like
didn't like
you
that.
know, it's just a part of his
I'll be
entrance.
honest, I
Like,
think-
I was
No.
cool with it like that, but now he's just
No.
using it all the time. He's trying to
Drew
kill
bores me.
people.
Shouldn't have had a sword
Murder.
at all, ever. Just. It was. Like, what's
I
next? We're
blame
gonna have the
Stephanie.
Usos come out with machine guns or something. Just.
Yeah, I think Drew bores me. If anything.
Nice.
It doesn't
You're gonna
make
have Rich
sense.
Holland
It's
and the
stupid.
Peaky Blinders come out with those.
Yeah, exactly.
fucking,
Come out with Tommy guns constantly, just every week.
Just start
Just
going.
come out with a Tommy gun and
the
just
Peaky
shoot the
Blinders.
refs or something. It's
Well, with
dumb.
Butch, I don't think they need to with Butch. Jesus Christ, that man put him on a leash.
We'll get
Jesus
there. We'll
Christ.
get there.
To be fair though, I did see Link's face when Drew got the sword and swung the sword.
I just.
Your face was like, "What the fuck are they doing?"
Yeah, like
Just bought him some
why?
extra time, didn't they? Just wanted an extra.
I
It didn't
don't- I
help
don't-
with the next match being like consistently top rope moves. And
Well,
like,
I
the
mean,
ropes
they
were
cut
constantly
he
shaking.
cut the ropes. The ropes were used all the way through that ring. So that what I've seen a lot of reports online that this was a
Fake
gimmick
ropes.
sword and it was fake and blah blah. No, this was he legitimately cut the ropes. You know,
Yeah.
people are saying, "Oh, it's a fake sword" because they've seen pictures of the sword bending. Swords bend. Shock horror. If swords don't bend, they snap. That's how metal works. Like
Yeah.
they're flexible
It's
for a
laws,
reason.
it's laws of science. It's
Yeah,
tension.
it's gonna
Yeah.
be. It's gonna.
You know,
they're
they
gonna
become
have
brittle if
movement.
they're solid.
Yeah.
So it has to bend to flex to actually be able to move through the material it's going through.
To absorb the shock. Yeah.
Yeah,
thing was-
they did cut. He cut through 2 ropes as well, which I was quite surprised by. I didn't think it'd go through 2. But
not sure
the
it's
fact
not
that he swung a sword at
Didn't go
all
all the way,
was
though.
ridiculous. It shouldn't have happened.
For
And
me, go
go on.
on, mate. For me, every Mania needs some sort of a filler match. For me, on paper, even this one was that match for me.
This had filler in it now. I mean, to be
Yeah,
fair,
it kind of did.
what order of what was this? The second match?
Second
Yeah.
match, yeah.
I thought it might be a bit
filler? I mean,
later.
I think the first match would have been great. Obviously, if it wasn't for that injury, it was
Yeah.
still a good match.
I
I
thought
don't
this
think
would
we
be on a bit
needed
later.
filler at that point in time.
No.
Maybe that match was a bit missed. Yeah, I would have saved it for a bit later
Yeah.
after a bigger match. You know what I mean?
Well,
But it was. I still enjoyed the match personally. Like I like Drew and Happy Corbin. I like.
So there's another crazy
uh,
point into this as well, though. Like, so obviously this was the second match on. The first match went short because of the injury.
Yep.
The second match, obviously, it took the amount of time it took, but they still had time issues for this show. Like, it's just very, very strange to me that happened.
If you consider the fact that we ended up with 7 in the end, obviously, for night 1, and then we ended up having to have 9 because of it, and it still filmed the same time, it's like, what?
Yeah. It didn't make much sense to me. Especially, look, they spent so much time showing adverts for the next night. So night 1 of Mania, I've seen the stat, and I think it was an hour and 20 minutes of wrestling, of actual in-ring wrestling.
In 4 hours.
Over the course of
4-hour pay-per-view.
6-hour show, if you include the pre-show.
Hey, if that was on CW, you would have got a bad result. That's all I'm saying. They don't like it when you do too many promos.
Like, absolutely mental. Absolutely mental.
But it was a bit flat after that, and then it picked up a bit for me.
Yeah, the next match was Miz and Logan Paul against Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio.
Oh.
Unbelievable, Jeff.
First of all, Logan Paul, round of applause. Logan Paul, fair play, mate. Fair play.
He was fantastic.
Yeah.
I think
for a celebrity that came in, that was.
I mean, he did the splits. I wasn't expecting that. I mean, he did the Three Amigos. He did the little shimmy on the top rope.
I think
really
that wasn't a shimmy.
Yeah. It was a shimmy.
I think
what else could it be?
Yeah, I think that
it was half-assed. That's what it was.
Yeah, the thing that summed up for me, Link, before this match, what was your opinion on Logan Paul?
I don't like that. Look,
I think you were dreading it.
I was dreading this until the Paul brothers, give us loads of clout and start giving us loads of money.
Yeah,
I think they're both pieces of shit. At that point, once they give us clout and start coming down to our videos and stuff, they'll be the best people in the universe.
I mean,
obviously.
to be fair, Logan Paul has given us 500,000 views in the last 2 days.
Yes.
So I've softened my opinion on Logan already.
Well, the thing was, you was dreading this match going into it.
I was dreading it.
I was hyped for this match.
I say dreading it. I was a bit of both. I was very apprehensive. I think is a better word than
You'd
dread.
listened to what I'd said about the fact that how athletic he was and that he would be quite good in this.
I think it was apprehension more than anything.
Yeah.
It's more the personality than the wrestling that I was worried about.
Yeah.
But
and
I think even his personality...
I still am.
His personality,
now the wrestling's just way up there compared to where I thought it'd be. So
well, I think
just to make you think like that it proves how good it was for me.
I mean, and then we obviously at the end of the match we had Miz obviously
going even more heel.
Yeah, Logan and Miz won, and then Miz turned on Logan and hit him with a scroll crushing finale.
The irony of everyone saying the entire match how good a heel Logan is, how good Logan would be as a heel. Logan will be the best heel going forward, blah, blah, blah. And then he turns face at the end of the match.
Well, he didn't necessarily turn face. It's just that we've ended up with we've ended up with an ultra heel in Miz.
Yeah. And I think that's the way it's going to go.
I hope this isn't the end of Logan Paul in WWE.
I
want him to have a run. I want that rivalry versus the Miz.
Yeah,
he said that he wants to be involved. He wants a long-term thing. He wants that. After that match, they're not going to sit there at the back and go, "We're not going to give it to him."
He just hope they don't have Jake on another kick-off pre-show.
No, I agree.
Just don't bring Jake next time, Logan.
Just leave him alone.
Well, they've started that feud with him, backstage feud now as well. With he's released a bit of a promo, so they've started a backstage with him and them.
Backstage.
Yeah, that was actually on WWE. We didn't actually swear him.
Yeah. They've done it with him and the Miz.
You know what, Miz? Just fuck you, man. Just fuck you, Miz.
They've set up that rivalry.
And then he walks off.
They've set up. They're going to have a really good match. They're going to have really good promos. I can't wait for that.
I really hope so because he impressed
me
more than I expected.
The question is, Mysterio to help Logan Paul, maybe?
No, they're dead.
You'll see.
Just one piece of criticism because I feel like we've got people watching that are all going to be like, no, Logan did this wrong, Logan did that wrong. Look, there is one piece of criticism I'm going to give to Logan. there was the smile during the when the skull crushing finale first got put on him.
I don't think that's
I can kind of forgive that because I explained this to you guys yesterday, didn't I? I can kind of forgive the smile. You know, this was the heat of the moment. That could have just been, you know, he thought he was getting a weird hug or something. You know, he wasn't necessarily. The one bit that's a bit more annoying is the fact he got up as quick as he did from it.
He sold it outside the ring, but it was a bit. He had already done that little bit of damage.
The damage was done. He got up too soon.
Yeah.
Which again, I kind of get it was done so you could be on the cameras and stuff.
That may have not been his fault of how fast he got up, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that. Yeah. That could have just been. We want the next segment. We want the next. We want the
and
next
the thing is,
promo for.
And we're already short of time. Just move it along.
To be honest, they weren't short of time though, were they? I think they actually had plenty of time. Maybe that's why there were so many promos because the first match got cut short because of
that's the thing. They were very time.
Because they cut a match out of it.
Yeah.
They were very off night one.
Oh yeah, they
because
did,
they didn't have enough time. Yeah,
they were very time restricted.
Night too, yeah.
They needed certain things at certain times later on, so they had to make sure they were ready.
Very good point, Pete. Very good point.
They had to make sure they were ready for that.
But after the Logan Paul match and the ultra heel turn, Stephanie came out and she introduced Gable Stevenson.
No,
Stevenson.
Can't wait for him to start.
He's been pushed so much.
I hope it's not another Via. Coming soon.
No, this guy's got a lot more credentials and build than Via had because this guy actually got advertised before Via did.
Yeah,
like he's been advertised for a long time already.
He also got drafted.
He was in the draft. Like that's how long he's been around. Like
But I'm really looking forward to him. I hope he does well. I think the one thing he might need a mouthpiece. I think we've not seen him talk yet. Actually, to be fair, not seen him talk. I'm just assuming
could be his best bloody attribute. You never know.
Yeah,
attribute. They say a game, mate. They say a game.
Well, attribute.
It's still the right word, knobhead.
It's a word. There's a reason they use it on games. It's because it actually is a word.
Is it?
Stupid. Yeah, it's a stupid fucking comment.
It's a word.
Becky
Attribute
Lynch
is a word.
then lost her Raw Women's Championship to Bianca Belair.
She did. Second year in a row that Bianca Belair has won a women's title at
against one of the
WrestleMania.
women.
And the only woman in history, I believe, so far to win both the Raw and SmackDown women's titles in consecutive WrestleManias.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
Just needs Bayley and Charlotte next, and then she's got the quadruple.
Yeah,
that's true.
Not a bad match.
It wasn't a bad match. There were a couple of moments. Obviously, you saw at the end, Bianca got the black eye from that. What was it?
I think it was a leaping. It was a leaping plancha, wasn't it? I think Becky was supposed to try and land on her shoulders to knock her down, and instead she landed feet first in her face. Yeah. Which, to be fair to them both, Bianca managed to turn it to make it look like it was a powerbomb.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that she was too far away for her to actually get a full grip on it, they did manage to kind of make it look right.
The bit I did was noticed was when I can't remember what move it was that Bianca went to. Was it a powerbomb?
I think she was trying to do some sort of deadlift move, and Becky was just too far gone.
And she was like,
you could tell that Bianca was really trying to lift her up. You could tell Bianca was trying.
Yeah. I like the way they carried on.
I had to guess Becky probably said, just pin me, and then that's what happened. They did the roll up little thing. Other than those two little bits, the match wasn't that bad. It was a good match.
No. I think it was hard to follow a Logan Paul Miz match the way they had.
Yeah.
I think.
I'll be honest. That's probably where you could have done with Drew and Corbin. To be honest, that's probably where I would have put Drew and Corbin, maybe.
Because it was such a high match before.
I think for pure wrestling side of things, this was probably the second best match of the weekend.
So after the Bianca Becky match, we had Cody Rhodes debuting as Seth Rollins' mystery opponent.
Wrestling has more than one royal family. Cody Rhodes.
I'll tell you what,
my God,
for our AW fan, what did you think of it?
I mean,
I thought it was alright. Oh, you meant.
You an AEW fan?
I am an AEW fan, mate.
Really? Shock. Well, that's a shocker.
You must have. I know the rumours are there, but there must be a bit
the
of doubt.
rumours were there. I was completely doubtful. I thought he was, like, of course he'd been on podcasts for AEW and said that he was staying at AEW, which is, boy, it was
What was it, the bow and arrow?
Did he think that Cody was actually going to do it? Was he actually going to turn up?
I thought he was going to stay at AEW personally, or he was going to retire. Cause
I thought he was going to turn up, so I got the bonus point.
I think I went ballsy and I went for The Rock.
You did?
Or someone like that.
You did go The Rock. That was very ballsy.
I've got to admit, I said Bray, and for a split second when it went black,
the lights went out, I think I went, Bray, no.
You did.
But the thing is, the second it went dark, it could have easily been Bray, it could have easily been Cody, and it could have easily been Demon Finn.
Rock.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
And then,
the electric,
like, you know what I mean?
Rock, yeah.
I
It could have been
think
anyone,
it's-
really, could it? Lights going out, it's pretty standard thing for a debut,
It's
etc.
just common now, isn't it?
I
It's a
think it
common
was
theme.
really good the way it was done.
Could have even have been Malachi Black with a House of Black.
But I mean, the match itself, I thought was fantastic. Like
What?
so
Best
many,
match of the
so
night.
many references,
No, second
bionic,
best match of the night.
bionic elbows, Stardust
Stardust thing.
references.
It's funny because I think he said, like, he had a little video
Did he?
come out on WWE where he said, like, he negotiated in his contract that he never had to do Stardust again, and like
Yeah.
one of the first things he did when he got in the ring was do a Stardust reference.
I even
Love
liked Seth having Welcome to the Big Leagues bitch.
Yes,
That was
yes.
great,
Remember
little
him shouting
things like
was
that.
quality.
Welcome
That
back
was
to the big
really-
leagues, but yeah.
That
We
little
also
things
had
like
the
that.
the pedigree.
No, he called him
attempts
bitch as well.
in the match.
Yeah, he
as
called him
well.
bitch.
Oh, a bitch, yeah. But it was back, not just welcome to.
Yeah, it was little things like that that were really good for me. It showed that there was a rivalry that they're not just ignoring the whole AEW thing. They were bringing it.
I mean, they also
across.
brought out the picture of Cody Rhodes' hashtag WWE, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah, that was tweeted.
What
Which is
BBC
class.
Sport, yeah.
Yeah,
You also had Dustin Rhodes saying "fuck the pedigree" online.
this is the thing. They're neither company are ignoring it. They're embracing it. The
Well-
rivalry.
I mean, it's hard not to nowadays, isn't it, with the
Yeah.
internet? So,
They're referencing it, which I don't mind. I like it.
but I mean, like I say,
Right.
this for me was in top 3 matches of the night easily. Of the weekend,
this was top two.
Of the
top two for me. I'll
two
put
nights.
this second.
I mean, this was.
Oh, 2 nights. So first night this was top.
For
two.
actual wrestling match, this was my favourite match.
Yeah,
of the weekend.
this was number one for the whole weekend for me.
I
This
think
was
so.
for me. You've got 2 great wrestlers there, and I enjoyed it.
I mean, the next one would just say, well, actually, was there anything else after? We had the Hall of Fame come out, and we had
You had
Taker do
Undertaker, but
another
everyone
salute
think
for
Undertaker
the
was going to
fans.
do the arm thing. He didn't.
No,
just
because he
walked
wasn't
past.
in the like Dan said, he wasn't in
He
the
wasn't-
Undertaker.
he-
He was in Mark Calloway's gear.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a terrible reason because he did it the next night.
Oh, spoiler alert.
Not really a spoiler, but
He was still just wearing a suit the next night, and he still did it then.
That's true,
So
yeah.
Yeah.
I think there was a conscious thing of the first night. I don't know why he would have done it. It would have been perfect for him not to do it. To separate.
Well,
the
I think
pair.
the second night there was no other there were none of the other Hall of Famers. It was just Taker, wasn't it? The second
it
night.
was just taking a second.
It
night,
really
yeah.
threw you this bit, Link,
so
when everyone
mate,
else just
so-
vanished.
Right, he probably
Everyone
wasn't
vanished. Yeah,
Mark
they did
first
just
night,
vanish.
Taker. They
off
all
the
ran
stage.
down the stage.
Weird.
It was funny.
but yeah, it was then announced that we had
Yeah,
a
if I saw
our
Undertaker
attendance.
coming, I'd run the other direction as well. So like, they're not wrong in mind. Probably more so. Scott Steiner probably wanted to go up to him and go, moo.
We then had the attendance for the night at 77899.
7-5, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought this was a small one.
No,
I thought it was 7-5
night
the first night. And
night
7-6 the
one.
second night.
Night one
It
was
was 77 second night.
77899.
It went down second night.
No, it went up. It was
It was still on the first
night.
778.
Oh, I thought Dan
it was
said 78.
no,
Oh, 78.
77899.
And the second night was 7-8.
Seems an awfully sus number, doesn't it? 77,899.
Didn't they immediately go on commentary and say it was like a different number though? Like
Did they?
as soon as that got announced, I could have sworn Corey may have said something or
It wouldn't
Byron.
surprise me.
Bizarre.
They
Or
always
Jimmy.
fabricate the
What's the
numbers
ball? Is
slightly.
the ball guy
It's-
called Jimmy?
If you like.
Jim Smith, isn't it? Yeah, Jim Smith.
Jimmy Smith.
I think that's genuine.
I think it is Jim Smith. Jimmy Smith,
Sorry,
yeah.
that's not an insult. I just genuinely didn't know who he was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jimmy
I think it's
Smith.
Jim Smith.
For America, host of
Big
American
Jimmy
Ninja
Smith.
Warrior.
But yeah, there's not really a lot to say
This-
for the next one, except from we had Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey. It went longer than I was expecting before the night started.
I was hoping it was a 5-second match and all.
Yeah,
that.
I mean,
This
I
match
can't
was-
Ronda
stand
Rousey still went
Rousey.
18 minutes, which is a surprise.
I'll be honest,
It is
this
a
was the
surprise.
biggest disappointment match for me the week.
The ending,
our weekend.
like what was the? I mean, obviously you had Charlotte try for the whole match, try to lock in the figure 8. You know, you had Ronda trying to put in the armbar. Obviously, you had the moment when the ref went down. Ronda put the armbar in. Charlotte Flair immediately tapped. Like as soon as she went down, Charlotte immediately tapped. Obviously, the ref was down, and then the ending was a big boot, which I thought was just weird.
But the main thing is
Big boot to the side of the head.
the main thing is Ronda stayed down, and she took the pin,
Actual pin this time.
which is an improvement. So
Yeah.
we'll give
It
her
was
that.
a clean pin.
Yeah, it was.
But it was the biggest disappointment match-wise for the weekend.
I
for me.
think the biggest disappointment about the whole build up to this match, it was the Ronda Rousey's going to be the first person to make Charlotte Flair tap.
I think that angered people because it was just.
It
if
angered
you're going to use
all of
facts,
us. Like,
if
come
you're going to
on.
use facts, make sure they're actual facts.
They're actual facts. Yeah.
Like
not just
Sasha
nonsense.
Banks has tapped her out about 50 times.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? That's not
Look,
even a
I
joke.
just.
I mean,
I'm gonna apply that if you've got nothing nice to say, don't say anything and just say, yeah, this match happened.
but Charlotte's still champion, so that's the main thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they did
I'm happy
announce.
that was probably the best thing that came out of the match, wasn't it?
This was
Charlotte
when they
Flair
did.
saying,
This was when they did announce that the New Day Ridge Holland Sheamus match had been cut for
I
the
think
night.
they
Did they
didn't have much
announce it,
choice.
or did they announce it, or was it
It did
Sheamus
get
who went
announced.
online?
No,
They announced it, but Sheamus
did
had
get
put it on
announced
his
the
Twitter
thing.
first. I
I
think.
know that. Yeah, I know. I saw that Sheamus tweeted the.
I think they they were sort of forced.
Their
Their hand was forced to announce it. To be honest.
Yeah, because Sheamus
Yeah.
was telling people then.
And then we had the KO segment on
Just-
as main event, and
What?
what?
I lost the 316. Says I just whipped your ass.
As you'd imagine, with anything with KO and Stone Cold, was really good.
Gold.
Incredible.
On mic work, it was nice to see the glass shatter. Austin go back to get his quad.
Nearly tip it.
Nearly tip it as he
Sean
comes
told-
round.
I think Link made a joke saying that Sean told him not to walk down the ramp, whatever he does.
Yeah, because Shawn Michaels said about when he first came back, he was so gassed from getting to the ring.
Yeah.
Oh, what time did this match start?
Yeah, this was the bit. I think while they cut stuff, the exact moment Austin walks onto the stage was 3 hours and 16 minutes.
Mental.
Into the show.
It was
Yeah.
3:16.
Wow.
He turned up on stage.
And what time did it end?
5.
So it was
That whole segment.
Well, I mean, it ended at
the match.
so,
it ended
so-
at 4 hours into
Yeah.
this whole show
yeah.
So,
So
yeah.
it was a 45
because
minute
obviously it
segment.
started at 1 a.m. for
Well,
us.
the thing was, this match was nearly quarter of an hour, which the actual what it turned into was.
Yeah, 14-minute match, wasn't it?
I mean, obviously,
while-
the promo, the whole storyline for this was Kevin Owens being chatting shit about Texas.
But also,
Yeah,
it's the case that
terrible flag.
he's had the stunner for God knows how long as well. And at one point, it looked like there was going to be a case of passing the stunner on it, which
I mean, I
Which would've been
think you
nuts.
said it during the stream, Dan, when Kevin hit the stunner and pinned him. I think you said that would have been the best way to pass down the stunner.
oh,
Yeah.
it'd been unreal.
Stone
It'd
Cold
have been
did,
unreal.
But
But
yeah,
obviously,
Kevin Owens,
Austin was like, no, not losing my final match. Gets out the stunner and gets the job done. But can we just say, Austin took his bumps in that match.
Oh, yeah.
He
Yeah,
got-
no
he
holds
did the
barred.
suplex
Suplex onto
onto the
concrete. Like,
Yeah, like, he took his bumps. He obviously got thrown into the back of the barricade, rebounded with a clothesline, which was really good. Like, It
Mhm.
was a good match.
the thing
It
is,
was
we all thought it
shocking.
was going to be a couple of stunners, and I like the way they done it. Kevin Owens going, do you know, it was all a big lie. I got you out here. I'm going to challenge you,
I think, yeah.
knowing that Austin wouldn't say no. And I like the way they done that. I thought that was
Yeah,
a
I
really
mean,
clever way.
I think I was saying that like it's just gonna be, you know, it's gonna go in, like it's gonna have a promo, go into a brawl, couple stunners, and then that'll be it. But when he said that I challenge you to a no holds barred match, I was just like,
Which I even thought, why holds no holds barred match? and then they took it out into the crowd.
Yeah,
which was amazing.
yeah, and then up onto the and then he took him on his ATV up to the top of the stage
he tried
as
to
well.
rob it first. I don't know what it is with wrestlers robbing ATVs now.
Austin took a bump onto the concrete in the crowd.
Yeah. It
Just
was
said
just,
Pete.
it was just. I mean, that's
concrete.
that's the astonishing thing. And then obviously at the end we had the beer bash as well, and Austin threw a beer to his brother, who missed it.
Yeah.
And then later on, he ended up with his brother coming out. He also threw a beer to the ref, and the ref had a beer with him. I thought that was a class moment. And then Byron Saxon obviously also ate a stunner during it all. Fantastic.
Yeah,
He had a promo backstage. He had a promo backstage for night 2. And he was like, obviously, I got stunned on Austin 316 Day. I got stunned night 1 WrestleMania.
Yeah, at least he didn't get kicked in the balls this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Austin on 316 Day
Could have been Corey
last year or the year
Corey
before.
Graves.
Well,
Imagine
no,
if Corey got in the
I
ring.
think it was either 2 years. I think it was 2 years ago. Wasn't it 316 Day that
I think so,
that Austin came back?
It was during
the pandemic era.
The pandemic era, and there was no crowd, so yeah, it would have been.
Austin kicked him in the balls, just full on, straight in the nuts. Just boom.
What a way to finish night 1, though. You had Stone Cold Steve
It was
in
fantastic.
Texas.
I don't think there's a way you could have made that night better. Ending-wise.
Oldest WrestleMania main eventer of all time.
Fair play, Stone Cold.
It's mad, isn't it?
He's now main evented 4 WrestleManias.
Well, I'll tell you what, before we get on to night
5
2,
WrestleManias?
if Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory was the main event, then it would have been someone else.
Did you know what? For a great end to a night 1, I was sitting there thinking, we all thought they're now going to top this tomorrow. Because that finished on such high for me.
Yeah.
It's also
I'd say they did top it.
sorry. It's also the longest gap between 2 WrestleMania main events for any one competitor.
Yeah.
Not surprised, to be fair. Not surprised. Night 2, I mean, minus the pre-show. Triple H came to the ring. And came down, played the game music, spat his water everywhere.
We kind of had an idea what was going to happen.
Basically retired there and then left his boots in the ring.
I think you guys said it during it, because I wasn't there for night 2, but I think one of you said it, that this is what he should have done first before going on a podcast with someone else and saying he's done in ring.
Yeah.
But he could
have announced it to the fans before the media.
This was a horrible moment for me because 100%. I popped the second Triple H music come out, and I was really hyped.
And then you realise why.
And then I see him have the boots.
Yeah.
And I was like, it just dropped because it became one of the saddest moments.
Yeah.
I watched night 2 the day after. And like as soon as that music plays, I instantly was like, "Oh my god, it's Triple H!"
Yeah, that's what we did.
It's his retirement.
We see the boots.
It's Triple H. Yeah.
It was. But he came out, did the whole "Welcome to WrestleMania."
He did that as well, yeah.
Yeah,
which was class.
But then you got the shot of him, the mic and the boots, and that was the last you see of him. So yeah, it was iconic. It was done perfectly, but it's just a horrible thing to have to witness.
It was. I was never ready for a retirement of someone on that level.
All the legends are going there.
He was one of the main ones for me.
Triple H is gone. Undertaker's gone. You know, Randy Orton's still going strong.
He was young though. You can tell. You can see how old he is now though. He's everyone. You just forget how old they are.
The most recent person on the Pat McAfee show, wasn't he? Saying that he found a new love for wrestling and that he's not leaving anytime soon.
Yeah.
Who said that? Triple H.
No, Randy Orton.
Randy Orton.
On the Pat McAfee show.
We'll jump on to Randy anyway, because obviously he's in the first match of the night with RK Bro, and they certainly did.
Sheesh.
They retained, didn't they? They were already champions going into the night.
They did.
And I mean, this was only quite a short match for a triple threat tag team match, and I quite liked it. Like,
I think it went okay.
Dawkins didn't get too involved, and that's always a good thing. So
that's what he does every match, isn't it? Doesn't really get involved.
That's not a bad thing.
Normally.
That's his biggest attribute.
some good spots. But what I like at the end, and this match would have been perfect because they've got some great little moves. These lot, Chad Gable's brilliant for his wrestling, Street Profits high flying, RKO with the RK-Bro with the RKOs. That last 30, 40 seconds of spots, all the finishers, just to build up.
We had the RKO from Riddle to Montez Ford.
Yeah.
Which
off the top rope.
Which was
a
cool.
springboard off the rope, which was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like it was much better in the moment, I think, and then you watching the replay, it's like, oh, it wasn't that great, but in the moment, it was sick. It was an RKO out of nowhere, and then I'm sure it was Chad Gable. Did he just dive? He literally just jumped
Gable
around
just
the
randomly just went.
He took the RKO.
He knew it was going to be an RKO. Like
the thing was, it was going to happen.
But that's the thing now. When anyone tries to do a top rope move against Orton or Riddle, like they just dive at them, and then you're like, "Yep, RKO is done."
The only the only way they could have made that better was if Montez Ford had took the RKO while he was in the middle of a frog splash. That would have been cool. But
or if Riddle had done had jumped across to do an RKO to save Orton from taking the frog splash, that would have been. Yeah, that would have been nuts.
But, to be fair play for Gable because it looked.
To be fair, they've done that with. They did that with the Usos, didn't they? They did the whole one of the Usos went for the Uso splash, and then they RKO'd him onto Matt Riddle still. But it was cool. But am I the only one that thinks Alpha Academy should become a faction? Like they need to get more people in that, which I'd get.
It would freshen it up.
I agree.
I think they need maybe one or two more. It's right now it's just a tag team. Maybe they need a couple more people. Maybe someone from NXT. Maybe
Alpha Academy would do really well in NXT.
Maybe it would just do really well
in NXT.
Maybe it becomes the House of Gables.
Well, this is it because Gable, Stevenson, and
after the
Chad
match
Gable
they invited him. After the match, the Street Profits were giving out cups to everyone.
Well, they shook hands with RK-Bro first because RK-Bro obviously got the win.
They invited Gable Stevenson, who was ringside for this year's Wrestlemania, for this night to Mania. He came in. They're all about to start drinking. Then Chad's just like,
"Sheesh,
please." I just love that. And the fact that you guys don't have that as a voice clip yet, but it astonishes me. How do you not have it?
I don't fucking care for it.
Thank you.
I fucking
come on, it's incredible.
I think it's
funny. Mate, Chad Gable's probably having arguably one of the best runs of his career at this point in WWE because since American Alpha.
Doesn't say a lot.
Since NXT.
Doesn't say a lot.
Well, look at how he's been. He went from that shitty. What was he called? Shorty G.
Shorty G. Yeah.
He went from Chad Gable. The former NXT. Was he Smackdown with American Alpha?
No.
He was one of them.
Did they win the tag belts?
They did. They won it once, I think.
So he went from a tag team champion. Obviously they then teamed him with Benjamin. Then they made him a solo guy, called him Shorty G. Worst storyline ever. And then they brought him back as Chad Gable. And then you got the sheesh. You know what I mean? They've even gave him a 10-hour montage video on YouTube of the greatest shooshes of all time.
Problem is for that guy now, though, because his name's
Chad Gable.
They're gonna change his name again. It's gonna happen.
Just gonna be called. I think you said you just call him Chad or something like that. That's what you said.
I did say that.
It's going to be
I kind of hope it's not, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like. Cool. I mean, the reason why I put Gable Stevenson with Chad Gable.
You know what I mean?
The reason why I put Gable with Chad Gable is because it's just a bit more of a mouthpiece for him.
Yeah.
But obviously, to finish on that though, obviously Gable ended up getting suplexed by Gable,
which was a really good suplex, by the way. But I mean, he isn't exactly a big man, like we said last Sunday night, whenever it was. He's not a big man, so it was. I mean, it was an easy enough spot to do, wasn't it?
It was a nice belly to belly, nice belly to belly.
Yeah. We then had probably, was this my least favourite one of the night? Probably it probably was actually in the grand scheme of things. Probably Lashley versus Omos. Yeah.
If only you had Chad Gable here, he'd be shooshing you.
Shut up. You could shut up. Bobby Lashley though, but defeats Omos. It was.
They made Omos look strong at the beginning, manhandling.
Gee, I saw the thing of Bobby's head hitting the back of the ring post. Jesus, man.
They made him
I
look
was
strong.
like, this man's just come back from concussion. He's gonna go back for another one.
Okay, he wasn't
mate.
out with concussion.
No, it was shoulder.
Yeah, he had shoulder surgery.
But this was the way it went perfect. They made Omos look strong. Give Lashley the win. It's made them both look okay still.
The problem is, in this match, it just felt so stumbly. It didn't feel smooth through any of the match.
It was clumsy.
It was
very
really clumsy, and I was like, I can't get into this one if I'm being completely honest. And I got more into what happened on Raw after this.
Yeah, the one thing we did notice was MVP didn't come out of him.
Yeah.
Which we'll go into.
I wasn't a fan of that.
No.
I think. Yeah.
I think Bobby needs
Bobby
needed the MVP. I was still upset when they broke up the Hurt Business originally because Bobby just kicked him out.
Weird.
Like,
Weird.
Screw you guys.
But what a match to follow up with.
Yeah, I mean, this was probably I think it probably was the funniest match of the night because it was just ridiculous. Johnny Knoxville,
the most entertaining. It was very entertaining.
Johnny Knoxville and the rest of Jackass beating Sami Zayn. What a absolutely ridiculously stupid but fun match! And there is nothing else to that. Wrestling people, the non-wrestling fans, wrestling's fake. Wrestling's fake. You say what you like, but this was supposed to be for comedy. It was funny and it was good. It was. You had Wee Man body slamming Sammy. You had Chris Pontius, Party Boy, coming out and
I think
getting naked. Considering we had some wardrobe malfunctions the night before, it was brave. It was very brave.
He was like, please. When Party Boy come out, it was like, is this all we're getting? I was like, no, everyone else will be there. But please don't get naked. And then the top got ripped off. Then the trousers was like, please no.
The thing is, I've never watched the whatever their thing Johnny Knoxville's thing is, so I had no clue who any of these men are. I knew Wee Man because I saw Brock slamming through a table, and I'm like, that's not Brock Wee Man you're slamming. That's not payback what Brock did to you.
Party Boy just got naked all the time.
Yeah,
he was getting naked.
That was.
I saw him rubbing his tang on Sami Zayn, and Sami's like, "Get the fuck off me! Get off me!"
But he used to get naked.
Yeah, but that was his thing.
That was
he'd just go into random places and get naked and start dancing.
It would have been. That is, to be fair, I would have put this in terms of being a comedy match at 8.5, 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
But the
thing
it was
Sammy
missing,
going through the mousetrap table as well.
It missed Steve-O. It just did. I'm sorry. It did. It missed having Steve-O there.
The thing was if Steve-O come out on that giant mousetrap or something, would have been amazing.
Yeah, and I mean the use of the props. It's hard when you've got props that are so ridiculous. They obviously the boot got stuck.
I mean, what was the one on the top row? What was the one on the top row?
Just a pyro.
Johnny Knoxville just went like.
Oh
yeah.
Started pressing a button.
You froze completely then. I thought it was my end, but I realised the lads hadn't froze.
It was a button to launch the pyro.
Yeah, you fully froze then.
Right. If anyone had actually messed that bit up, it was Sammy because Sammy really went too late.
Yeah,
he was a bit late with that.
But it was a fun match. It gave us so many laughs.
Devastated.
Yeah,
and it
devastated that move.
Wee Man doing a full on body slam on
body slammed him.
Shayman? What? That's Sammy. Jesus, what? I'm gone, guys.
He wanted justice for what Brock did to him.
Too much sitting wrestling this weekend.
Yeah. It's been so much crammed in.
Then he
it was a
ended
good
with
match.
a massive mousetrap.
Yeah, Mark Henry's child.
Did notice that Sammy had cut his elbow open. Like I saw a lot of blood coming out of his elbow. I think that may have been when he went.
Probably
that'd be funny. Nothing. No, he'd be cover it up and he'd be fine. Yeah. But yeah, so it was nice to see Mark Henry's generational talent appear, wasn't it, with the giant hand? It was nice.
Nice to know his son's still alive.
Yeah.
Link's face was like, "Where's the hand coming from?"
It was ridiculous. I don't know where it appeared from.
Do you know what the worst thing was?
I watched that clip on TikTok, and you all just went.
I was watching the Pat McAfee podcast that came out yesterday, and he said that he didn't even know it was there, and he was sat next to it. He was actually looking the other way at Party Boy when the hand hit Sammy Like he didn't even know it was there.
They kept making
They got things up so quick and ready.
Jokes,
like,
didn't they?
mad.
Yeah, it was good.
Pat McAfee kept going with the cheek jokes, didn't they? The party boy.
Yeah.
I really liked it. I really enjoyed it.
Queen Zelina and Carmella then
Lost their title.
lost their titles. Yeah, sorry,
They did.
Yes.
I'm reading the wrong thing.
I saved you, Dan.
Thank you.
Saved you.
And Naomi and Sasha Banks are new champions.
I mean, I saw
Champione.
this come in. I think this is their way of getting Sasha to put Naomi back in like regular singles women's champ, like because
Yeah,
obviously
because
with all the
WWE
it was the only
2K22
way.
doesn't think so. It does not like Naomi. It does not think
Neither
that
does
she'd be.
Sonya Deville. So
Yeah, true.
Yeah, the thing is, I thought Sasha would be on
Like,
the women's main title picture. So
realistically, for me,
thought
this
she'd
was
lose.
the only way Naomi could get back into any title picture. Like maybe now after this run happens, that we might see maybe one more time Naomi with a title.
Yeah,
we need Shayna there.
yeah. Like, look, I'm gonna level with you.
He was a good.
I'm gonna level with
I do
everyone.
like Naomi as well.
I didn't watch any of this match except from the very, very, very finish because I was editing and editing TikToks, putting them out as we were watching, and
Well, obviously you had Rhea and
checking views. But I saw the finish. The
you had
finish was
Rhea
great.
coming out as a Playboy bunny, and
Yes.
Liv Morgan coming out as
They were
Catwoman.
supposed to be
The one was
Catwoman
trying
and
to
Batman, weren't they?
It
But they were
didn't look
questionable.
nothing like
No.
Batman. Sorry,
No.
that was Playboy. I
Yeah.
don't care.
Well,
The,
I've seen them on orange and black websites. I have. That I'm sure I have. It was weird. Was very
Moving on.
weird.
The oh god. Whew.
Insert the sound. I heard it.
The thing that bugged me about this match,
Yeah.
was that Shayna and Natalya and Liv and Rhea completely just vanished
That was it. Yeah, you said that they just died.
for
Where
quite
are
a
they gone?
long period at the match.
Well,
like,
they had
towards the
like
end.
at the end of the match, everyone just started like hitting like I guess you could say big moves, not necessarily finishers, but like some of their bigger moves in their arsenal to each other, taking each other out.
No, what?
Carmella was probably too busy kissing Corey, you know, with that weird mask on. Like, what is that mask? I do like Carmella though. Like, I do like Carmella. I just need that mask.
It's a very weird,
This match
very
was
weird
great,
gimmick.
honestly.
It wasn't a good match. It wasn't fun. But the best thing about this match was that finish.
It was a really
the
good-
new
it was a
finisher.
really
Yeah,
good
I
nice
really
finisher,
enjoyed that.
yeah.
We all enjoyed that.
Yeah, tag
That
team
was a
finish.
nice. That's a nice tag team finish. Yeah.
Clever.
And then we'll move on to probably the wrestling match of the night. I'd say Edge versus AJ Styles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of this
good
night for
match.
sure.
I mean, I knew it'd be a good match. I'd just like to be a bit more invested in it, other than Edge kicking him in the dick. You know what I mean?
This
Yeah, but
was
he
my
loves it.
favourite.
AJ loves it.
Yeah. This was my second favourite night of the weekend. Second favourite match of the weekend. Second favourite night. Second favourite match.
Right. Just out of interest, who came out first in this match? Was it AJ or Edge?
It was AJ. It was AJ because everyone pointed out that he.
Yeah, did he come out first or second? No, I can't
Came
remember.
out first.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely, because
so.
Edge had
Yeah.
the whole like Undertaker-esque.
I mean, they both had very interesting entrances, but for very different reasons.
AJ just claps his head, being the smallest
AJ
guy
just
in the
walked
roster.
into the stage.
Smallest guy in the roster, and he's the one that bangs his
The
head.
thing is, I feel really bad for him because he can't really sit because the hood goes right over his head and normally flips it back.
I'm not entirely sure the hood was up at the start.
It looked like the hood was up and it threw his head back.
I think the hood was up from the
Was
clip
it?
I
Yeah,
saw.
and as he
It was
walks into it,
up.
it threw his head back. You see the hood come down as well. So
Yeah,
I
you
think
saw
he
him
just
go.
didn't quite
You
see.
saw him just go. You saw him just go. And then
He
he
literally
quit. And then
took
he's
his
like,
head
"Oh,
back.
shit."
So I think that actually took
And
the hood down.
then
People are
then he
like,
came
why
back
is he,
out.
people said, why has he come out with his hood down?
He must have. I
Yeah.
was just like, him and Edge must have been brawling outside or something. I don't know.
We were all really curious about why he's bleeding. Dave Meltzer started a rumor that the pyro had hit him in the face.
Pyro, yeah.
And we
I
was
think
like,
he
he's
did-
very lucky.
Yeah, I'd say he'd be burnt.
Yeah. But
Like,
yeah, he walked into the side.
chances. Yeah.
Then
he literally
you
walked
had
into it.
Edge's entrance, Did anyone else get Undertaker vibes off Edge?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Massive.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's a cross. It's a cross between.
Off the
It's a cross
attire
between
as well.
Yeah, it's a cross between the Ministry of Darkness and the Brood, isn't it?
Brood.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we've renamed it The Mood.
The Mood. I think it's quite a good one.
I think it's a really good name for
But
it.
anyone that tries to interrupt their message, they're gonna get smited.
They're going to get mooded.
Don't put him in a mood. But no, good
Well,
match.
murdered.
Good match.
Obviously, it was a
Priest.
good match. The ending with Damian Priest,
I
Just
obviously
stood
coming
there.
out.
It was a bit hard.
I thought he would have grabbed. I thought he would have grabbed the leg or something.
I like that
No.
he didn't.
I think it was, I
He
liked it. It
just
was just
stood
a
there,
presence.
looked at
pretty much.
AJ.
Yeah.
AJ was just like, "You're right, mate. I ain't seen you in a while. Where's Finn?" And then he goes to do the phenomenal forearm.
Where's
It
Finn?
was just.
Catches him.
To be
it was
fair,
weird.
AJ would say that because he is friends with Finn. So yeah, that would make sense. Just where's Finn?
Exactly, yeah.
But no, I really like that. It's just making it really mysterious. There's no violence to it at the minute. It's just gonna leave it brewing. They're gonna let it just grow naturally, I think.
And then
I like
obviously you had Damon Priest come in and celebrate with Edge, and they
Yeah.
all left. I do like Edge's new theme, by the way. I like his new theme.
I said this. I was a bit worried. I was getting very bored of Edge, and Edge was getting a bit stale for me. This has now elevated him back up again. Just
Yeah.
this one bit's pushed him right back up for me. I'll be excited to watch his stuff again.
So
Edge was always better as a heel as well.
with
wasn't
the
he?
exception-
I'm hoping this isn't like an Alpha Academy and it's currently a tag team. I want it to be.
No,
a
it's going to grow.
it's going to be a stable.
I reckon you should bring up some NXT people, maybe like one or two, maybe. And put them
we
in.
said Ciampa would fit beautifully into this thing.
Champions
Yeah.
rumoured. There's a couple of people rumoured.
Rhea Ripley would be great as well. Make a woman, have a woman's one in there. But yeah, I mean, since Edge debuted really at Royal Rumble, since then really, just that moment.
Yeah, like
This is the most interested I've been in Edge. Like I was never like that bothered. But now.
And I think it's
This
good
could be
because
really
now
good.
it's like Edge has brought himself back up now. Like you know, mate, like he's made me interested in him again.
what I like, he's going to be a good mouthpiece for the stable, and I can see him only wrestling when he has to. You've
Big
got
matches,
other younger
Like,
wrestlers there to wrestle week in, week out.
Yeah.
I
I
think
wonder if
that's
he'll
perfect.
get Gangrel. Imagine if we get Gangrel come back join.
Gangrel was meant to come back a couple of years back, or a
Yeah.
couple of weeks, or months back, or whatever, wasn't he? But then they cancelled it.
Yeah.
No, it was AEW that were going to sign him. AEW were going to sign Gangrel, but because Edge had the whole rivalry with someone and had the whole Brood entrance and the whole like
No. It was basically AEW tried to sign him or tried to get him to come in for an appearance, but then WWE also asked him to come in and do an appearance at the same time. So he cancelled the AEW one, and then WWE cancelled his. So he ended up doing neither.
And he was
I
like, well,
like it.
I'll just give it to Ring of Honor then.
But yeah, I mean we'll move on. So I think we will touch it a little bit more in
Yeah.
Raw in a minute. So
Yeah, more than likely.
we had the Sheamus Ridge Holland match where they beat the New Day. Finally appeared. It was a lot crammed into 1:40 by the way.
Came out dressed up as Big
Big
E's
E.
attire when he won the WWE Championship.
Yeah, Sheamus Ridge Holland. Did I remember rightly? One of them
Butch.
got. Yeah. Hang on. Did I remember rightly? One of them got in. Yeah, Butch wasn't in the match though. Did I remember rightly? One of them actually got hurt. Sheamus Ridge Holland. I could have sworn one of them actually got hit.
I don't think so.
No, maybe not.
The only thing I really remember from this match is Link getting really confused
That's
every time we see Woods, because he kept on thinking it was Little E.
Yeah,
Small
it
E.
was honestly it was
Lowercase
so
e.
confusing for me. It was so confusing for me to see the guys dressed as Big E, and
Didn't
for it
look
not to
right,
just be
did it?
Big E. It just was weird.
It was Big E paying homage to Big E.
Yeah.
But no.
You had the consistent theme in that match as well of Butch just trying to get involved in like I do kind
love
of
that.
like
I love that.
that.
I love
because
that.
That's
I love
his
that,
whole
full
gimmick.
stop.
It's just I come out and beat the out of everyone.
I love that.
And I love how Sheamus is having to constantly hold him back. I love it.
And
Yeah, he
Rich,
tried to beat the
I
referee
like
up at
Pete
one
Dunne
point.
as well,
Like
but
he's
I
just-
like the Butch gimmick.
but they're both laughing at him as well. This is the great thing with Rich Holland and Sheamus. They're both laughing as he's doing it all, and it's
I just
It
can't.
is
I just
very
can't
Peaky
wait
Blinders,
for Peaky
but it's
Blinders
great.
to get him on an episode.
it's great. I really enjoy it. I know a couple of people in our chat last on this night on Twitch weren't such big fans, but I thought it was great.
I think it will come across brilliant
But-
for us, but I don't know if it will come across good for the Americans. Do they get it?
Yeah.
As much as
But I'd stick this on.
Americans don't understand anything, do they?
I still don't understand why we didn't stick this on a pre-show.
Yeah, 1 minute
It's
40. Just
mental.
give them 5-10 minutes on the
Could have
pre-show.
done 5 minutes at least on a pre-show instead.
And then we could have actually
Yeah.
had Butch go like losing a little bit of shit like backstage and stuff. We could have actually had a backstage segment instead of a promo, you know.
A few times during the night, you could have seen him just trying to go loose, trying to find New Day.
We could have had him in the pre-show on the second night, and they could have had Butch coming out and attacking, like running out, low blowing Sami Zayn, whilst Sheamus and Ridge Holland are actually chasing after him. Then he carries someone off, and they've just gone. Yeah, so because obviously that's the comedy match. It wouldn't have worked. It would have been. Don't want him to interfere in any other match, do you? But I mean, you could coming out and attacking Sami Zayn just randomly. It would have been funny as fuck. But it was
You could have had a little run in between Butch and R-Truth as well, because we didn't get to see R-Truth at all.
It was wasted though where it was. But
well, you only see R-Truth when the 24/7 titles are in now, don't you? And
It's not even around that as much anymore.
I'll say you don't even see the 24/7 title anymore. So
what is he, a 47-time 24/7
Something
champion?
stupid like that, yeah.
More title runs than Ric Flair and John Cena combined.
In a minute, we got to see one of the best entrances of the weekend.
So this for me was the main event because obviously Roman got injured in the main event. We'll
it was cut short, I think.
100%. 100%. So I got a feeling that match, that show was supposed to go on till 1:15. If I'm being honest, I don't think it was supposed to finish at 5. But yes, we had Pat McAfee facing Austin Theory initially.
What a match!
Vince came out first. Vince came out first. And that
was his intro.
This is what you got.
And then yes, the future Universal Champion.
Universal.
Yeah.
And then introduced Austin Theory. Austin Theory came down, and then we had Pat McAfee with the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, and it was and his music. It was so.
The White Stripes are playing. It was really
so good.
I mean, you had throughout the whole time just everyone singing along to his theme. So you know he's got a great theme.
It was
and what a kick as well. What a kick!
What a kick for a punter! I mean, I was going to say that's literally it was literally his job.
It did really look good.
He was saying on his
he didn't
podcast,
he didn't put any effort into it. He hadn't swung it. It was just a boot. That wasn't a proper punt.
He was saying on his podcast apparently there was a whole thing with the ball. They had like 5 different balls, and they wanted to make sure that the ball was suitable for WrestleMania and. They wanted to have the best ball possible for Mania. Honestly, like there was a whole thing.
But yeah, this.
You had some great moments in that match. You had Pat McAfee coming on commentary and saying,
very Rock-esque.
Watch me beat his ass.
Rock-esque.
He had these.
You had Michael Cole going, "Come on, Pat! Come on, Pat!"
Michael Cole standing up.
Yeah, Michael Cole was stood up for the whole match.
Did you hear that one point when Michael Cole goes, "That's my bestest friend in the whole world"?
Well, do you know what? It was really cool to see my favourite spot that Pat's now done in 2 different matches.
Mm-hmm.
The backflip.
The backflip followed by the jump up.
The jump up as well. And I was like,
he did a decent swanton as well. He did a decent swanton.
Yeah, he did.
But I mean, he won that match. It's Austin Theory, which was good. And then Vince was pissed off with his protege.
Then Vince was pissed, and then Pat's just like, "Come on, bring your bitch ass in," or whatever.
And then Vince tempted it. He teased it, and it looked like we weren't going to get it.
And we were like,
"Don't do it," and don't do it. And it's like, "Okay, fair enough. He's not going to do it." And then he carried on and came back in. We were like, "What?"
And then he took the shirt off. Got in. And you know got the referee came in as well.
When the ref come in, I was like, right, we've now seen Austin, we've seen Triple H over this whole weekend, we've seen Vince McMahon in a match. We've seen Cody Rhodes has been back. It's like, what is going on?
Yeah, I'm in the wrong.
I think we got in a time machine or something.
We
got in the New Day machine.
It was such fun.
It was 100% though the end of an era, because
it did feel like that.
More than likely going to be the last time we ever see Vince wrestle, the last time we ever see Austin wrestle, the last time we see Triple H as in a wrestling capacity, the last time we see Undertaker in a wrestling capacity. Like there is, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Undertaker said, "Never say never, so you never know."
But do you know what? Pat McAfee has now had, in 15 minutes, he's had a WrestleMania entrance, a WrestleMania win. He starts a match against the boss.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, throughout the match,
got...
you had Theory helping Vince throughout the entire thing. Vince hit a couple of clotheslines, kicked him with a ball.
Just insane. Pat McAfee has had the greatest WrestleMania weekend I think anybody's ever had. But, just insane.
It's the fact that he's been given all of this because of just how he's been with coming into the industry, I think. And Vince has loved him for it. And Michael Cole's loved him for it. Everyone's just like, wow, what a person.
I love that he still mentions the fact that Michael Cole tried to get him fired at one point during his first WrestleMania because he wore shorts.
And the thing is,
he still talks about it on his podcast.
Brock don't like many people. This is a common knowledge thing. Brock's very selective who he gets on with. Brock loves this guy. Yeah. Brock gets along with him. Everyone loves Pat McAfee.
But I mean, and we haven't even talked about the fact that
it's just impossible not to like him. You know what I mean?
Vince won his match. Let's not forget this. Vince won his match.
Kicked him with the ball, solid steel ball. All over.
Yeah, and then Austin Theory's music hits. Vince absolutely craps himself at Austin Theory's music. Obviously knows there's some music coming, and he sort of was prepared, and it was just happened to be the wrong music.
He was like, "Oh God, who's this guy?
And
who's
then
this guy? It's my guy."
Yeah, and then we had Austin's music. It's like that's it.
The eye roll happens.
Yeah.
He actually walked down the ramp this time, by the way.
This is what I wanted. The only reason I was going the first night, we all knew he was coming out. This surprise spot I wanted from Austin. I didn't even think that he could be in this.
I mean, it made so much sense with Vince being there, to be fair.
It did.
But then we had
the face off.
We had the stunner to Vince, the worst stunner I think Vince has ever sold, and I love that for it. It makes it the best at the same time.
Theory.
One of the best stunners to Theory.
Theory was
incredible.
Fantastic.
That was again, Rock-esque.
He went Rock-esque. It was bizarre. And then you had
Vince's highlight. Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah, I love how they shortened that clip to make it look nice, by the way. I love how they did that.
You had
it made Mick Foley cry.
You did. Dying with laughter. You had Stone Cold having a drink with Pat, and then he eventually stuttering Pat, and then Pat.
Then he gave Pat a drink afterwards.
Fired it out.
Did the full spray.
And then at the end, that clip of him just carry on drinking the beer, more advertisement whilst led on the floor.
Yeah, the camera just pans around from Austin while he's still laughing at Vince, I think, because Austin, I've never seen him laugh so much in a ring.
Oh, Austin's face after he hit that stunner on Vince, like he was laughing. He was
get back
so
on commentary
happy
for the Roman Brock match. No, he didn't.
You see Pat kind of shaking still, but still drinking the can while he's like, eyes shut on the floor.
That was like the greatest thing ever. Like, you went from Stone Cold wrestling to night 1 to Vince McMahon wrestling night 2.
It made the whole weekend amazing.
Folding in half after a Stone Cold stunner.
Was it then folding like a deck chair?
Yeah, folding like a deck chair. He did.
He said that
he literally just collapsed. He was just like.
Pat said on the podcast. I know I keep talking about Pat's podcast, but it was actually a really good listen. He said that basically he was very, very hungover for the podcast because they drank. Obviously, they had 3 or 4 in the ring.
Did you see the video of him on the plane?
They drank that night.
Did you see the video of him on the plane afterwards?
No.
Oh my god, he wasn't just drink. I can guarantee that he had done some other stuff as well. He was gone. It was so fucking hilarious. And then we had the main event, which was, in fact, the main event was actually a really good match, and it went on. It went on
the very first thing Brock done.
Brock was so over with the crowd. It was amazing.
In the ring, and the first thing he done was take his gloves off and throw them to one side, and you kind of see Roman reaching up for his head.
Yeah,
because he knew that Brock was going full Rock.
But go for blood.
Brock,
I was shocked the crowd.
Blood for blood, remember?
I was shocked the crowd didn't start chanting Randy Orton or something when he took the gloves off.
I really like this.
But no, it was both were so over. Heyman was fantastic as always. Yeah. The match was really good. We had a couple of good signatures and finishers. The
Was it the Kimura that did his arm in?
I think so. Yeah. So something popped, and that wasn't faked. That was something had popped. I don't know how badly it's popped.
Yeah.
Nothing's been officially announced that it has been popped. Even Raw didn't mention it.
You could see the lump, and you could hear in Roman's voice shouting,
"It's out!
Popped.
It's out!
It's out! That was it. It's out!" And
so
he was shouting that.
From my perspective, what happened was obviously he was in the Kimura lock. There was a little bit too far away from the ropes. Obviously, Paul Heyman pushed the rope for him as well. He reached for it. He's overstretched the joint while Brock's holding it, and it's popped. When we first saw him sort of move, you could see the bulge further down his arm. And originally, I thought he tore his bicep.
I did.
Obviously, that was just the non-flexible muscle. He then later on, afterwards, after he'd won, he grabbed the rope and you saw him visibly pop it and get it back. And I think that did work, and he got it back in because it wasn't long after that he was able to actually raise the titles, both of them. Yeah. And you could see he visibly struggled, like he was struggling on Raw with it as well.
Yeah.
But I'm fairly confident at this point that he's struggling now because he's just tender, and it was just a dislocation that he's managed to reset. So
it's going to be sore for a while.
But yeah, fingers
crossed.
This wasn't the finish that they wanted, and I think that this main event, given the time that I think it should have actually gone, would have been good enough to be after the previous segments.
I think this was supposed to be the longest match of the weekend.
I don't. Well, I don't know.
Potentially,
AJ was 24 minutes. They only went 12. I don't think it'd have been double that, if I'm being honest. But I think
no, maybe not.
I still think it'd have been more intensity. That's for sure. I think they were just about to step that up.
I think they done well to finish it the way they did.
For me, that was the end of Mania, and for me, that is my favourite Mania that I've ever watched live.
That was the most stupendous WrestleMania.
It was very, very good.
If I get that line in.
Very, very good. I know a lot of people have been saying it's one of the best Manias of all time. And do you know what? I'd say it's up there. It's up there.
And great Mania.
Do you know what the thing is as well?
Level, but
a lot of us looked at the card and sort of went, it's Mania, it'll be fun, but...
There was
and some of those matches were like, okay.
Well, I'll tell you what, there was 16 matches there, and there was one that I would say I was disappointed with. Out of 16 matches, there was one I was disappointed. The rest I thought would have been okay matches, and they were good. But there was one that I thought, oh, this could be good. And it was like,
I'd argue the fact
that
one
for me.
That Sheamus, Ridge Holland, New Day one couldn't be helped. It was thrown in.
But the only one that really disappointed me was Charlotte. Ronda. That was it.
Charlotte Ronda. Yeah.
I thought that could have gone a bit better.
But then again, you still ended up with the right result, and you still ended up with Ronda still improving on what she'd done before. Yeah. So even that itself wasn't that bad, you know.
No,
because there's improvements.
I wouldn't say there was a bad match. There was one I was disappointed with. I wouldn't say there was a bad match on our card.
Yeah. I mean, well,
which I'm quite shocked at. And we had a lot of pops.
That rounds out WrestleMania. On to Raw then. This was to finish our WrestleMania weekend. Obviously, we started off the show with a little bit of highlights from previous showings of WrestleMania 38. Bit of everything, bit of that, bit of this. We then go live, and wrestling has more than one royal family. Cody Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. We've
done that. Move on. But
very emotional. This was.
Yeah, shitload of welcome back chants, Cody chants, all the typical things. Talked for a fair while about his papa, his father, the late.
Showed us a picture of
Dusty.
And then he hinted at becoming world champion,
and bestowing the belt upon himself and
holding it around his waist.
Very emotional speech.
It was weird. It was weird because Bruce said it was monotone, and I agree. It didn't feel like I was waiting for him to suddenly just turn really heel and
fire up. Yeah,
just go the other way.
He did a little bit, and he almost sounded like he was turning heel.
He had one time to turn fully heel, and I think it's when he was talking about why he's doing it. Because like we thought a lot, like he was saying, "Oh, I'm doing this for my family. I'm doing this for my father, and more importantly, I'm doing this." And then, like, you know what I mean?
Well, it was the point for me. It was the point where he went, "Oh, and I'm never gonna get to do that. I'm never gonna get to live that dream and give my father that belt." And then he goes, "Or am I?" And it's like, what? Like, you know, obviously this wasn't going to be like a weird twist where Dusty's going to come out or anything.
They're not going to put him in a death match, are they? They're going to put him in.
But Jesus did come out.
Weirder things have happened in wrestling. Yeah, we have had a match with God before.
No, I meant we had burn it down.
Wrestling Jesus, yeah.
And then Seth Rollins hit the ring.
CrossFit Jesus.
We 100% saw all of this bit. But yeah. Rollins walks into the ring, stops in front of him, and looks into Rhodes' eyes. Rhodes tosses away his microphone away. Rollins smirks. Rollins extends his right hand, and Rollins looks down at it. From you. A yes chant picks up. Rollins cackles and shakes Rhodes' hand. Rollins backs up and leaves the ring, and Rhodes looks a little taken back.
I remember that.
Music hit.
That was really good.
And then his music hit and left, and I remember.
I remember that bit.
Yeah, I remember that bit. Never heard of this thing called technical difficulties.
Yeah.
We say whilst trying to film a podcast for the last 3 hours.
Yeah, it's full of technical difficulties as well. It was
an alright promo. It was welcome back, Cody. And the crowd, I've noticed the crowd was quite loud and vocal, which I liked.
I mean, it's a WrestleMania crowd in a Raw Arena.
For the last couple of years, they've been quite quiet.
You've seen on our TikTok, there was the weirdest chants during the Edge segment, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
The crowd for the last couple of years have been quiet. This one, it was nice and loud again.
We then had Finn Balor teaming up with RK Bro.
Take on the Usos.
No, was that later on? That was later on.
Didn't we have a little segment?
Sorry, yeah, that wasn't straight away. That was my bad.
We had a little segment backstage, didn't we? At some point.
That's what it was. Yeah.
It was the women's tag match, the contenders match.
It was the women's contenders match.
Number one contenders match,
despite it being the champions that they're facing.
And the champions that won.
And then the champions won. It didn't even make sense. I was like, what?
And I guess you had a bit of the storyline starting of Rhea potentially joining Edge's new faction, and you know.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
But turning on Liv
tension
for sure.
between her and Liv having a lot of tension already.
So
they built that quite quickly, which is good.
But what was weird, she just walked off. Like there was nothing. She just sort of just like.
And Kevin Owens came out.
See ya. Yeah, and then Kevin Owens came out, which was.
That was very weird.
And Liv scurried off behind.
Equally weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he comes out.
I just realised.
Speaking of weird, yeah.
Can I?
Oh God! I just remembered. Yeah, sorry. I was just thinking. I'm looking at my list. Kevin Owens, and I was like, "Why did Kevin Owens come out?" Oh, Kevin Owens came out for that. Yes. So
we got our big return.
Walk with Ezekiel.
Ezekiel came out, claiming. The first thing I thought of when I saw it was, I don't know why, but I thought Ezekiel Jackson.
We all did.
We all did.
And then I just started thinking of the fucking TikTok thing of, what's your name? Ezekiel.
Fuck you, Ezekiel.
The thing was, we had a couple of little technical difficulties as well.
Yeah, we did.
And all we see is Ezekiel come out, and we was kind of looking, going, "Is that?" Because he was frozen for us. It was.
I mean,
is that how I think it is?
For us, it was on the screen. It was frozen, and like you could barely tell it was Elias.
Yeah. So from what I've seen from a lot of people when they were talking about this, not many people could figure out it was Elias until Kevin Owens actually went, "Elias,
you're Elias."
Yeah,
you're Elias.
That was the first moment.
And then Ezekiel's like, "No, I'm not Elias. I'm Elias's younger brother." Ezekiel.
And then apparently that's when the crowd kicked in with a chant of "Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Yes, you are."
Is this the Abyss storyline? They're gonna give him a mask now or something?
And then you
had
had
Abyss.
God, imagine. And then you had the whole "You're a liar." No, you're a liar. You're a liar. No, you're a liar. And then
I don't like
you've
liars.
got till the count of 10 till I beat your ass.
Well,
wait,
before that,
you missed
you missed when they were going, "You got stun chance." But it was.
There was also the whole thing with Owens essentially admitting that he was wrong and that he was actually. He seemed quite thankful to Austin during that promo as well beforehand.
Well, I mean, based on where he was 6 months beforehand, I think he would be very grateful for Austin, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Owens also spoke about the fact that he had a bad back.
It wasn't Owens' fault. Owens was injured.
Yeah, he had a bad back. His back was he hurt his back like a while ago, and he still didn't fully.
He was lifting weights, and lots of them.
Yeah, lots of weights.
Lots of weights.
I just don't understand though what the count to 10 was. Or was he counting down from 10? Yeah. 1. And then walks past him and just goes. I was like...
Just walked off.
Gets the 10 and walks off.
Why?
It's a Kevin Owens thing to do, isn't it? He made
No,
the
it's
crowd
not.
think he was going to fight. He made the crowd think he was going to do something, and he just didn't do it.
Yeah.
But he didn't do the stunner. That was the thing. That's what I was fully expecting the stunner.
And maybe we'll never get the stunner from Owens again.
That's just what I'm starting to think.
Going back to pop-up powerbomb, maybe.
Are we not going to see the stunner, or is that gone now?
I do like
maybe they finally greenlit him for actually hitting the package pile driver again, and we can have a really good finisher instead.
Oh my god, you imagine?
I doubt that.
I can imagine, because I absolutely love that move.
You imagine package pile driving at Ezekiel? Damn.
Yes, I could.
Damn.
Or Omos.
I just keep forgetting. I keep thinking you're talking about Ezekiel Jackson every time you say his name. I just like why?
Oh, I didn't notice this. I didn't pick up on that. So then after this, Dominic came to the ring for his match. Yep. I didn't pick up on the fact that Dominic had new music.
He's always had that music.
No. It says Dominic has new music,
and it come out with a rain.
So it's obviously a slight.
That's his music on. I'm not even joking. That's his music on the game.
You sure it's not a slight variation?
No, it's exactly the same because that's how it goes.
It might be a slight variation.
I think it might be.
It is the same beginning, definitely.
It might be a variation. Yeah, true.
It says in here, black and white, Dominic has new music, and whoever was writing this was clearly listening to the music, whereas we were chatting probably about pegging. Let's be honest.
I mean,
and if you haven't joined in our Twitch, then you should be there because that gets talked about a lot
as well.
I'm going to leave that poking holes in things.
Yeah, we leave.
That's not helpful.
We leave Pokey Hospital for our regular YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Dominic Mysterio with Rey Mysterio versus The Miz. Wasn't it weird though that
it was like a 5-second match? Wasn't it?
We didn't see Logan at all on Raw.
Very quick.
I was surprised.
Yeah, like that.
I thought that was strange.
But after The Miz won, we did see finally, after about 10 years of being hyped up on the sideline.
10 years.
Via
came.
Wow. Must have been a good time.
Came.
Mummy
came all over Dominic.
You know
came all over Dominic and Ray, all over the ring.
You know what I loved about that segment the most? When you just see the Miz run for his life out of the ring, just runs past the crowd. Oh, I love
Via became one of our new favourites.
So that
in the yellow and black, obviously.
That hold apparently was called the cervical clutch.
Oh, it was the what?
Cervical clutch.
The what?
You heard?
Hang on, what?
Applies a cervical clutch.
Wow. Okay. So Via came and applied a cervical clutch all over Dominic, all over his ring.
And it made Dominic turn purple.
It did actually.
Yeah.
He gave him a purple head.
Sorry, YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, this. I'll be honest. This
isn't making.
No, it is. It fully is.
Oh, it definitely is.
So no, this Raw after Mania was a weird one though. It all throughout the night, everything was starting new things. Nothing felt like it was closing anything, did it?
Which is good. I like that.
Yeah,
that's how it should be, really. Because
you close it at Mania.
It's supposed to end the chapter, so.
Yeah, but there was nothing like no carries. I don't know. But even like the carry on of Miz Logan wasn't there, and it just felt a bit. bit peculiar.
That's going to come back though.
I think that's what I liked. This wasn't extending anything. It was just going to start a lot of people's stories because you can't. Logan he started last night. You mostly can't start everybody's storyline straight up in one night
at the same time. Yeah.
But look, if a lot of people did get started tonight, which I liked, there's going to be a lot of different storylines going in for the next couple of months for different people.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah. Then we had the new Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair come to the ring, take off her sunglasses, and reveal her beastly bruise. But I mean, she's quite a promo. I'll be honest.
It was the EST of bruises.
There was
a lot of you deserve it chants.
I
Still
started
trying to figure out if that was for the bruise or the championship.
That's the thing. Just for people who've watched our TikTok, we know it's for the championship.
We're not fucking idiots. Like obviously.
They are.
We do.
We're not all idiots.
It was for Twitch humorous purposes. Knobheads.
They did it for the content.
We know there's a lot of Americans out there, and we know you don't understand sarcasm, but general British humour is very dry and very sarcastic.
All of his American viewers.
You know what to do if your washing machine stops washing. Turn it on.
Yep.
Move on.
Yeah. Dolph Ziggler then was up weirdly on Raw to defend his NXT Championship, as we mentioned on. I'm still not decided whether this is going to go out as a full thing or as a few different parts. I don't know. But yeah, we mentioned it on the NXT Stand and Deliver part for sure. The rematch.
Another rematch.
Between him and Bron Breakker.
Enjoyed it.
Yeah,
match, really good match.
We covered it quite a lot. The thing is, it was good. It wasn't as good as Saturday Night's.
No, this was only a single ring circus version of Intense.
Yeah, this was like
it's still pretty intense.
This was like an 8-man berth sort of Intense, you know.
We still didn't get Steiner Screwdriver, and we're still calling him Bron Breakker and not Rex Steiner. So the second he changes his name to Rex Steiner and starts hitting the Steiner Screwdriver, that's when that guy's career is just going to go boom. All the way up. All the way up.
Bron Breakker is now a 2-time NXT champion, though.
Yes, but with tendencies of the Great Khali as well, let's not forget.
He had the belt upside down.
Oh, bless him. Yeah. He realised as well partway through. I saw him look at. He looked at the back where the imprint is, where you can see the the leather, and you know it's upside down at that point. He's like, fuck.
Yeah.
It's actually a hard belt to put upside down. But, I mean, good match. New NXT champion. Maybe not coming to be completely on the main roster full time yet.
I guess not. Right.
But I still think we'll see.
I mean, he could still be on the main roster. Like I said, Kevin Owens had the NXT title and came up to the main roster.
Yeah, but I've got a feeling we're going to see a fair few float about between Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. And I think we're going to see a couple of belts appear here, there, and everywhere as well.
Maybe that's what they're going to do. They're going to, every now and again, just come on a Raw or a SmackDown, just testing to see if he's ready for the main roster. Maybe that's what they plan to do.
It's not even that. It's not even testing him to make sure they're ready for the main roster. It's so that the casual fan, the casual fan knows who these people are.
Yeah, because there's obviously there's a lot of Raw and SmackDown fans.
Yeah,
NXT
you can take it back to Enzo Amore and Cass, the fact that luckily they were known, but the Dudley Boys themselves didn't have a fucking clue Enzo Amore and Cass were, and that's obviously who they debuted against, and it was the fact that
I remember when
their chant actually went off. If their chant went off, it was immense, mate. Their whole entrance was the immense thing about that. And I think you'll see.
I'm just getting flashback to Enzo's first match on a pay-per-view when he got knocked out.
Yeah. But I mean, they need to have some sort of introduction for the casual fans, I think, of these NXT stars. This is the thing. So I think we'll see a lot of that. We'll see the ones that are almost there, they're about to come up. So the likes of people like Ciampa, obviously, it has been on and off. What happens to him next, we'll see. And then Bron Breakker. I'm
saying you just called him Ron Baker.
Yeah.
not Bron Baker.
I did.
Ron Baker.
Completely renamed him.
I know him.
I bet you do. Yeah. We're not going to call him Rex Steiner. We're just going to change it to Ron Baker.
Not to be confused with Ron Johnson.
Oh my god.
Shout out to our Theory Thursday podcast. You don't know.
You're done now?
Why do you keep saying done though? You're too old to
done
be
now.
saying that.
No, we're done now. You missed it yesterday. Me and Pete go saying you're done now.
You know what I mean?
You done now?
Yeah, I do.
You done now?
I do, Pete.
The almighty Bobby Lashley then was out after the NXT title match to face. No, MVP was in the ring. Sorry,
No,
MVP came
yeah,
out
he
first.
came out
Then
first,
introduced the
yeah.
almighty Bobby Lashley.
Celebration, wasn't it?
Omos.
Then had Omos come out.
But there was a bitterness as well before that. Let's not forget. Before Bobby Lashley came out, saying that he'd done it by himself. I'm sure that was before Bobby came out, wasn't it?
Before Bobby.
I think MVP said something like, I wasn't even there.
He did it all by himself. Yeah, they foreshadowed it.
Do you know what we knew Omos was going to be coming out the way he was talking about it. I thought Omos might have been joining the pair of them for a minute.
It didn't seem that way.
It could have been. It could have been,
Yeah.
but I'm glad it wasn't. And
Then
MVP's turned.
you heard him scream for his rematch. I want my rematch. And the next thing you know, geez.
Well, MVP announced that as well to the crowd, and you could kind of at that point it was kind of obvious as well, because if you listen to the way he did it, he was like the Colossus wants a rematch. Like it was very much like
Respectful.
He was selling Omos at that point already.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I
A
think
little
this is
bit more
when-
foreshadowing. I think MVP is very good for foreshadowing things. Like he's very, very good.
I think this is when we realised that this would be perfect for Omos, but also very bad for Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, it's going to be bad for Omos. It's going to be good for Omos. It's going to be bad for Lashley. It's going to be bad for MVP. I think, because I don't think that. Honestly, I know we've spoke really a lot of good about Omos.
Omos isn't going to be as high as Bobby Lashley is.
Omos is never going to make it. Like, I'm sorry, he's just not.
Never say never, but yeah, I mean, certainly for a little while, he's not going to be. He won't be near the top. Well, that's what I'm saying. It is relevant.
Someone summed it up perfect in the chat. I can't remember who it was, but they put he's more Great Khali than he is Braun Strowman.
Yeah. Yeah,
and I think
he does
that's
seem
fair.
that way. He does seem that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then Bobby did a bit of a promo himself, and he can't cut one. I'm sorry, he just can't.
He's awesome in the ring. He's got so much better in the ring. But yeah, his mic work still very far behind.
I've always liked Bobby in the ring. It's the one thing that always held him down was his just promos.
He's okay in the ring. He's not.
I don't like Bobby. I've never liked Bobby. Not really even the Hurt Business. Bobby, I wasn't that wowed.
I think it's the pure size
You
of
reckon
it.
they'll reform the Hurt Business around Omos now?
I said that last night, didn't I?
Yeah.
I think that'd be quite cool,
I think
because
you
obviously
did
it
say
was Lashley that kicked them all out. So.
Well, that's probably why they split it. Because it's like, well, maybe WWE have known they dropped the ball.
Two more people on the roster, something to do, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Get Cedric and Benjamin a bit more time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing how that one goes, to be fair, with Omos and MVP, and see if we do get that. We then had the weirdest backstage segment ever. Not ever, that was maybe a bit. Liv, Rhea Ripley were backstage chatting, and Rhea, despite the one being walking off, apologised to Liv because she'd been talking to Adam Pearce, and she's got them a women's tag team championship match for next week, despite losing the number one contenders match at the start of the show.
To the champions.
To the champions. It was stupid. I'm sorry. I like to be positive, but that was the most stupidest bit of segment.
I think the worst bit about it is they should never have made it a number one contenders match. They could have just made it a match. And the thing is, then they could have had this little rivalry build. But she could have said, "We've got a match for next week," and that's the perfect opportunity to turn on Liv next week.
I mean, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen.
We all know
it's perfect.
Yeah, Rhea's going back to being heel.
The big thing they shouldn't have done, the big error, and they would have got away with it if they didn't make that a number one contenders match.
Make it a number one contenders match.
This would have all worked perfectly.
The number one contenders match should have been the one later on that was announced.
Which is the one next.
Not happening.
Which is
that should have been the one that was announced as a number one contenders match.
Exactly.
Yeah, so the next
But
one,
moving on
obviously,
to that one.
is, Carmella and Queen Zelina making their way to the ring. They'll face Shayna and Natalya. And I'll be honest, I don't remember fuck all about this match except from
I remember
Carmella.
There
that
wasn't
it
a
didn't
match.
happen.
There wasn't.
It didn't
It
happen.
wasn't, was it? It wasn't, no.
No.
Because
Just-
Zelina got the mic and just started shit talking Carmella.
They come down first,
and then they
didn't they?
started brawling.
Yeah,
and
Carmella.
then she started making out
Zelina
with
basically
Corey
said
Graves.
that she thought Corey Graves was hot, and then
Yeah, and then
they
tried
fought
to
for a
turn
minute,
it
and then
into-
she just went and snogged
Imagine
Corey. for
Malachi
10
Black
minutes.
came out and just
They
blacked
turned- They
Corey
started turning it
Graves.
into a dodgy looking, what I thought was a dodgy video.
Yeah,
With got
Yeah,
kind
I
of
think,
got a
I
bit
think
out of
that's
room.
going to end
Softcore.
up somewhere else.
Yeah,
Bit of Vaseline on the can.
yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
they're just trying to promote the whole Corey and Carmella's
their show.
YouTube thing that they've got
Yeah.
going on, which apparently is 90% sex.
Nice.
Yeah,
Very good, very nice.
sex sells, I guess.
Very good, very nice.
I mean, to be fair, Corey Graves did say on commentary as well during their Mania match that if they won, then they would celebrate by getting it out, essentially. So it's like, okay.
To be fair, that's
Have you
how...
noticed the way he
how I
looked down
celebrate.
when that split happened? The first thing he did was look down at his groin. There was a split in the ring,
there?
and yeah, he just made a big point of looking straight down at his groin for some reason.
Yeah, there was a point. I do remember pointing it out as well that he just looked.
Okay.
Going on.
Okay.
It was
Um,
very strange.
Very
Well,
strange.
we know what happened backstage afterwards, anyway.
We know what happened backstage. That's good.
I love technical difficulties. Oh, you just completely froze that, baby.
He's done it again.
I love that we hear everything he says though, but it still just like pauses it or slows it down, but we still hear it all. It's great.
But, I mean, unsurprisingly, we had another video package after that. We then had Austin Theory backstage with the Usos. They were calling him out for losing. What a bitch. And all that. Yeah. And then they had a match in a six-man match. RK Bro and Finn Balor against Austin Theory and the Usos.
And we called how this was going to go straight away because Austin Theory is the next United States champion. It's going to happen. That's where this story's going now.
Even
So obviously
Finn
this-
Balor, didn't he?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Yeah, the match
I was
ended
about
with
to say,
Theory
this-
pinning Balor. So.
This tag match ended just like the other, with the tag team match, where it was just like on WrestleMania, it was right at the end, spot after spot after spot after spot after spot,
Done.
Yeah.
and then
Super kicks, coup de grace.
bunch of
yeah.
finishers.
Yeah.
It was a good match. We called it though, but yeah, it was alright.
Yeah, again.
Yeah, it was fun for
every
a...
We
single...
see Randy Orton dancing.
He was.
He was dancing to Finn's music, which is weird.
He was.
Well, he was
Sorry,
doing the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was
It
fair
was
play.
good to see Randy Orton having fun.
He looks happy. And for that
He does.
we are grateful. We then had Edge's segment of the show coming out with
Very good.
Oh, the crowd. The crowd
introdu-
during this.
yeah, introducing himself and Damian Priest. We had
We don't care.
we don't care. We are sheep. We are losers. Was the three of my favourite chants.
You gotta love a Mania crowd, man. You gotta love a Mania crowd.
What
They're
I
all
really-
insane.
What I really liked was how the "we don't care," and then Priest actually took that and put that into his whole build up,
He
like
did
the
work it back very
promo,
well.
and Edge got involved.
Yeah,
That was good.
I think he said. I think him or Edge said something like, you know, if this was me a couple months ago, I'd actually would have cared what
That
you
was
had
Priest,
to
yeah.
say.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think,
That was good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that bothered me a couple of months ago.
But yeah, I mean, so we've got that match start. We've got that.
you hurt my feelings a couple of months ago, guy.
He said that move was
I swear, he's just breaking down.
your lips didn't move, you froze, and all we heard was your voice.
So we've had Titch break down to the point where she's had to just leave. My body just shut down completely at one point, and now we've got Beyblade.
We know that we've worked out that Beyblade is actually a puppet. Someone else's ventriloquist.
Where's his fist? AJ Styles then came out to obviously carry on. Their feud seems to be happening, which is all right. I don't know how they're going to carry that one forward if they're having a full stable. Is it just going to be AJ on his own against a whole stable? It's going to be.
Is AJ going to get some help?
Yeah.
Maybe when Finn loses the belt, maybe.
Oh, what's happening with
AJ? Will be good.
What's happening with Cody Rhodes? We're gonna have a whole New Japan Bullet Club.
Oh,
But then,
I believe if we're going to talk about New Japan and Bullet Club, I believe the Gorillas of Destiny are currently out of contract.
Are they?
Could you imagine a stable coming over with AJ?
Mind you,
That would be impressive.
Mind you, if you were introducing them, I'd have introduced them last night on Monday Night Raw, because I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I'm not sure
I
if it
think
got
you'll
over.
have a few.
It would have been needed at Mania, but yeah, Monday Night Raw would have been sick.
No, I think what could be good is if they have another couple of people to Edge's stable, so he's really outnumbered.
Yeah,
and then gets 2 more people as backup.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Or even what's Gallows and Anderson doing nowadays? Where are they?
Who cares? Who cares?
No, they're over with. They're doing a bit of work with New Japan.
No, I don't think they'd come back anyway. I don't think they wanted back. So
no, fair enough. Let's show that they are obviously IRL friends of Styles as well. So yeah, and Finn, it'll work quite nicely. Oh, I forgot we had a Texas Tornado match, by the way.
Yeah,
I like a Texas Tornado match. I love a tornado match, and the fact, no DQs.
Adam Pearce came out with the glasses.
I actually quite enjoyed that segment from the way that Adam Pearce did that.
Yeah,
I think that was a very well done piece of authority work rather than the crap that we get usually. I think it was very well done.
It reminds me of the old Teddy Long stuff when you just walk out and just be like, right, we'll throw a match into it.
You're going 1-on-1 with the Undertaker.
Tag team match, player.
But Street Profits won that. We had a nice moment where the good one went did flippy shit over the actual corner
when
post.
He took out his own partner.
Well, yeah, I mean, he had to land on someone at the end of the day. At least he landed on someone. But yeah, the fact it was
Montez Ford.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, man.
You just said the good one.
Yeah,
he also said
the other one is the shit
done
one.
flippy stuff.
He did do flippy stuff. Did he not do flippy stuff?
He did do flippy
You know
stuff.
what
over the corner.
You know what I've just noticed, by the way? Chad Gable was the one who was pinned at Mania, and he got pinned again tonight.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's no surprise. They're not.
Injustice for Chad Gable.
Sheesh.
Yeah, the problem is,
Thank you.
being
The thing is, it
tag
fits
teaming
his
like
gimmick
that,
as well.
and it's not as believable that they pin Otis over him.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Roman Reigns then closed out the show in clear discomfort with his arm. Very tender, very sore, very good, very nice.
Yeah, I mean, you saw him when he was lifting up the belts. You know, he had to when he came down, he was really fast.
He came down a lot quicker with that arm.
The thing I really did like about this, and it just for look wise, was the way the Usos were wearing their belts, and then they were made to carry both Roman's belts up behind him as well.
And then you had Paul as usual staring at Roman as he walked.
The Penguin,
my tribal chief. Yeah,
I like what they did this time though, not just going straight into Raw or Acknowledge Me.
Yeah, he went through all his box office accomplishments and everything else, which
made us think The Rock was about to
maybe
come
it's
out.
a tease for the biggest box office draw in Hollywood right now.
Yeah,
could you imagine if they waited
Mania.
for the Monday Night Raw for The Rock? That'd have been.
I mean, it makes sense.
Not the night that was dedicated to him, not the Royal Rumble, not WrestleMania. But the Raw after WrestleMania.
Joe, it still baffles me that they dedicated an entire night to The Rock and he wasn't there. Didn't even send in a video package for it. But
the thing was, that month he was on. He sent a video package in a while ago
to TNA.
TNA.
Yeah, for Ken Shamrock's
but didn't send one into
their Hall of
WWE.
Fame. Madness, absolute madness.
Oh my god, The Rock to go to TNA.
But
The Rock was in TNA more last year than he was in WWE.
That's a sentence and a half.
As a promo, I quite liked it.
Yeah, it was all right. It was a little bit flat.
It was good. I think we're
expected
definitely
something.
getting someone Smackdown. Someone's coming out Smackdown.
Yeah, we're getting stuff in SmackDown,
Yeah.
but I expected a tease or something at the end of the show. Like it is what it is. Like it's not.
Sorry,
Well, the
then.
thing
It's not
is,
the end of the world.
we'll-
I still enjoyed it
We'll
for what it
finish
was.
the podcast with a little prediction then. If are we having Brock again?
no, I think
Are
we're
we
having
having
Drew.
Brock having a little break? You having Drew?
Yeah,
Is that what you
Brock's
reckon?
having a break.
I think
Yeah.
Drew's a good
I think Drew's the next in line for a bit of a feud.
Won't be a
The
long
thing
one. Though.
is,
No.
Drew's probably Drew's
And he ain't
just
winning
come off
No, you won't.
tight. Like, you know, Drew's just come off beating someone who was undefeated in that gimmick, kicked out of a move that no one's kicked out of before.
Yeah.
They're just gonna put him against Roman straight away and
I
make
think
him
they
win.
will.
But Drew
I mean,
also
it makes
came
sense.
out of
It makes sense.
Drew also came out of that rivalry with Brock Lesnar, where he'd beat Brock Lesnar really quickly and cleanly and all the rest of it, and then did nothing pretty much afterwards and
Yeah.
lost.
I think they're going to use this as the end of the day. We know that Roman's not going to be losing one of these titles for a long time. They've got to use people against him. It's going to get a draw with him and Drew. Drew's going to make a massive babyface go. They're going to give it to him for a month or so, a run in, and then they'll find someone new.
I mean,
Drew for me.
I can't think of anybody that would be more up there. To be fair, so yeah.
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
needs a
it's-
storyline for a
it's-
bit.
It's not a bad show. Obviously, with the exception of just Brock coming back again.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm trying.
So,
I think Brock's done now. That's twice he's lost.
Brock's
to
definitely not
Roman
done.
Reigns.
Well, no, he's
No, I
definitely.
mean like with Roman for this.
I don't
point
think
in
he is
time.
still. He's definitely down for the next 2 pay-per-views. So I think you're going to see him away for a couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks. And then
Yeah,
we'll see what happens.
yeah. What is the next?
You know,
pay-per-view?
God knows.
WrestleMania Backlash, isn't it?
Yeah,
They said last night.
they did. They
Oh, I love the shows with the WrestleMania just thrown in because.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well, I mean, Backlash means it's like the backlash from something. So I kind of get WrestleMania Backlash because it's the fallout from Mania as such.
yeah,
The 8th of May. Sunday, the 8th of May.
cool.
Sunday? Oh, not
A Sunday, yeah.
Is it Sunday?
Pay-per-views.
Sunday, the 8th of May.
Oh,
We want Saturday.
We want Saturdays.
We want Saturday.
And on that note, we will
Yeah,
catch
Sunday, the
you
8th of May.
in the next one.
See ya.
peace.
To the moon.